Allegedly. Yes, I have. Good evening, hopefully we're live. It's Mike here. Oh, the calf hasn't turned her PC down. Bad calf. Mike's Unboxing Reviews now too. It's Saturday evening. It is, oh, that's my heart rate. Don't want to see that. How do I get this back to normal? Oh yeah, that's it. Saturday the 28th of March. Hopefully you're all doing well, safe and okay, despite all the craziness that is going on in the world at the moment. It's really nice to see all the people in the stream at the moment. All of you ready and waiting to go, as Jonathan Wass would say. For those American viewers, they're not going to understand that at all, but for the English ones, hopefully you will. So yeah, hopefully you're all good and keeping well, keeping safe. Obviously, in tonight's stream, we did intend at the beginning of this week to do the giveaway for the AirPods, but due to obviously the lockdown and social distancing and non-essential travel, etc., etc., we've taken it upon ourselves at Mike's Unboxing to limit everything. So we haven't been ordering anything from Amazon. We've completely cut down on everything, and we're not going to be making unnecessary journeys out to the post office to send AirPods off when potentially it could be harming or endangering either ourselves or other people we come in contact with. So hopefully you guys all understand that, and we'll postpone it and we'll try and get it done sooner or later, hopefully sooner, depending on how things go, God willing. So yeah, hopefully you're all doing well and yeah, keeping your spirits up in these very, very trying and testing times. But anyway, it's Saturday night and it's live stream time, so let's go through what we've been doing this week. Also, we got this killer build we're going to do. Killer, ooh, that's probably not really the right thing to say. This awesome build to do. This is going to be our kind of low to budget based video editing, streaming, gaming PC. So yeah, make of that what you will. I'll introduce all the parts and we'll go through it very shortly. First of all, just a quick recap of the videos this week. So we did the Zotac finale. That ended pretty much as I expected it to. Money's back in the bank account. They've had the PC back. Drawn a line under it. Probably won't ever get anything from game again, if they ever come out of this this odd time that we're in. So they've shut down pretty much all their stores. Mail order, I think, is always also shut down as well at the moment. So yeah, who knows what's going to happen with there. Also, another useful video, which is so badly timed, it's unbelievable. How to show as being inactive on Facebook. Who cares? Everybody's at home. It doesn't matter if you're supposed to be working or not. It doesn't matter, does it? Go on Facebook, have a chat, do something. Don't try and follow all the crazy feeds on there and all the conspiracy theories and all that kind of BS. Just, yeah. It probably is best to stay off of Facebook if you can possibly help it, unless you really have to. Facebook is just a crazy, crazy place at the moment. So yeah, I'm trying to stay off it if at all possible. I am posting links for videos on there, but that is essentially it. I'm trying to avoid it and not go into that sort of rabbit's thing of craziness is on there. Anyway, so we did that video. The Game Max Abyss, which, yeah, that was quite a cool and stylish case. Really enjoyed doing that one. Hopefully you guys did too. I had some pretty good feedback on it. Not sure what I'm going to do build-wise in that quite yet. Still waiting to see what's going to happen, so that'll be coming up in the near future. We did the Reolink Argos camera, exterior camera, which again, very nice little camera with the solar panels and all that kind of stuff. Was super. Oh, we have a super chat, ladies and gentlemen, and that's weird because I saw it on the screen before I saw it in here. I think, is that even possible? Hey, yeah, you might as well leave that one off. There we go. So for those of you that are new to Mike's Unboxing, when we're doing our live streams, when somebody kindly donates a super chat, the disco ball goes off. Oh dear, frog in my throat. My voice goes and also the light goes on. So thank you very much. Who was that actually from? Captain Meets Adventures. Thank you very much for £5. Mr. Saturday Night is back. Yes, giving Ant and Dec a run for the money. And Casualty if it's on. I don't think it is. Maybe it is. I don't care. Anyway. So yeah, the Reolink Argos, we did that. The solar powered camera, actually really decent little camera. Downside was the PIR sensor was a little bit on the sensitive side and was driving me slightly mad, so I had to turn off the notifications for it. But yeah, really good, works really well. The battery is still at 100%. even though today we've had pretty much crap weather and it's been cloudy, cold, miserable, although the rest of the week's been pretty sunny, so that's given the battery a little bit of time to charge itself back up. So yeah, that was really good. Actually, I did notice on UK Hot Deals, for those of you that are in the UK, if you're after one of those setups, the camera and the wireless charger, there's a deal on at the moment for around about £75 for the pair, which is absolutely incredible value for money. If I think about it later, I'll try and post a link in the video description, or I'll try and get Kath to find it and we'll post it in there so you can take a look at that. Also, we did a video on the Zotac GTX 1650 Super, which you can see here, which actually is, I know a lot of people are going to be like, oh, 1650 Super, that is like super weedy. Yes, it is. It's very tiny, but it's about the same sort of power as RX 580, 590 in some cases, and for streaming purposes and video editing purposes, this is actually the killer card. It's got all the features of the Turing chipset, but in a value proposition, so you don't have to go spending kind of RTX money on a decent video editing or streaming solution, which was my inspiration for this build. So I had some bits lying around, which we'll go through shortly, and I figured the best thing to do is for me to put together a kind of a low-end video editing, stroke streaming, stroke gaming PC, kind of like a multi-purpose workhorse. So in these times now, when most of us are kind of stuck at home through lockdown, illness, whatever it may be, somebody out there possibly is thinking to themselves right now, maybe I could get into video streaming to make some money, which is a really good thought, especially nowadays. You've got to try and make money where you can. Jobs are kind of, well, screwed at the moment. So if you think maybe you can make a little bit of money on the side, either game streaming on Twitch or whatever it may be, or maybe set up your own YouTube channel, do a bit of streaming, do some live streams, make some content. This PC is going to be absolutely perfect, and with the processor that we've chosen for it and the graphics card, all the other bits and pieces, it's going to work out really well. Oh, and another super chat. You guys are too kind, and that is a super chat from Matthew Day of £2, and he says, microwave on, bumper set of yellow sticky bargains. Lovely. We do like our yellow bargains. For those of you who aren't sure what that is,
where is he finding them?
In the UK, if you go to stores like Asda, Tesco, that kind of thing, they mark down their products at the end of the day, stuff they can't sell or stuff that's going out of date, and they put a little yellow sticker on it. More times not, it's a yellow sticker, and you get a great discount on whatever it is you're buying. So Matthew goes out, gets his super bargains, chucks them in the microwave, he's good to go. So hopefully that £2 hasn't taken away too much of your value from your products that you bought, but still.
Where does he find yellow bargains at the moment?
Kath's asking, Matthew, where do you find your yellow bargains at the moment? Because most of the stores around here are pretty much empty, if you're allowed to go out to get to them. Alessa's asking a question there, another value-orientated PC build. When will we have a 4K build? Truthfully, we probably won't. And the way the world is at the moment, realistically, I think 4K builds are pretty obscene, to be honest with you. With people in the dire straits that they are at the moment, there's not a lot of money. People are like on the breadline. So I think to do like a 4K or an expensive PC build in this particular climate at the moment, I think it's a little bit insensitive, and even if I could put it together, I don't think I would, purely for that fact that it is a little bit insensitive, especially when, yeah, what's going on in the world. A budget PC, the sort of thing that people can put together from components out of kind of bargain basement stuff like eBay. At the moment, things like eBay, I know the postal service is under a lot of stress as well, but if you need to go and buy stuff, buy it online, go it for Amazon, get it through eBay. Try not to clog up the system too much, but if you do have to buy stuff, eBay is the way to go, definitely, and your online services, because essentially most of it is kind of someone in a room, kind of like this. It's their old stuff, they need money, you need parts. That is definitely a good way of keeping the economy going with limited impact on the rest of the infrastructure. We got another super chat. We got two super chats. What's going on tonight? British Noob says £2, and his question is Sky. So I think he's luring Skystalker in. And Skystalker is donated $5.49 of Canadian pesos. And he's still out in COVID-19 land, so thank you all so much. You really don't have to do this. It's very, very kind of you. And there's another one come in. The British Noob's gone in with a £5.50.
Tell him
He says, Sky, back down, we got this. Oh, guys, please. It's going to be a long night. You're going to keep me on here all night long. But thank you, it's very kind. And as with most people at the moment, in the UK, if your class is kind of self-employed, which technically, if you've got a YouTube channel, you are, yeah, we've kind of been a little bit screwed over by the government as regards to funding. So every little helps. We're not on the breadline. We're a few months away from that, but your generosity is very gratefully received, both with Kathy and the family. Much appreciative of it. Thank you very much. Okay, so let's say some quick hellos to the people in the chat, which I haven't done the pop-out chat yet, so do bear with me. And yeah, we've got quite a few viewers at the moment, so thank you all of you that are got no choice but to stay in and watch this. It is appreciated. So, who have we got in the house? We've got Pierre Plays YouTube. She's in bed, we're being too noisy. Okay, we'll be quiet. ClickTech Kev's in the house, Aletta's in the house, Angry Doge, British Noob, Captain Meets Adventures, 80s Horror Fan 88. Aletta, did I say that already? Yes, I did. Someone's name is, I can't even see what it is. Is that an asterisk?
That's 2 lines I called him.
Asterisk or 2 lines or brackets? I can't even see. The screen's too small.
Those.
But evening to you. British Noob, got Darren UK's in the house. Max Pilot 77, that's a new name. Haven't seen your name before, I don't think, have I? Maybe I have, maybe I haven't, but welcome to the channel. Ghost Adder's in the house. Ghost Adder says, I'm really interested in that Arctic cooler. I want to know if it's better than my Wraith Prism for my 27X. Quick, easy answer, yes, it is, definitely. In fact, actually, on the box itself, I do believe that is the specific processor mentioned when they do the comparisons. Yes, cooling performance for the AMD Ryzen 7 2700X with all the CPU coolers set at full speed. The AMD Wraith Spire came in at 75.5 degrees, which is kind of like squeaky bum time. The Freezer 33 came in at 58.2 degrees, and the Freezer 34 Esports Duo come in a little bit less than that, 54.5 degrees. So yeah, even says it on the box. Okay, so let's do a quick introduction of the parts. So if we go over to the other camera, and hopefully that's switched over. Yes, it has. Excellent. So, oh, that's not been put in a particularly auspicious place, has it? Okay, so introduction of the parts. On the left-hand side, on your left, we've got the Rio Toro Onyx, the 650 watt bronze rated power supply, which again isn't top of the line, but this is more than adequate for the processor and graphics card we're using. If anything, it's possibly overkill. But saying that, we do want a little bit of headroom for potential overclocking, so it's nice to have a little bit of extra juice on tap should we need it. You can pick those up round about the £55–60 mark if you're very lucky. They are in short supply. Next to that, we've got the Ryzen 7. This is the 1700X, which hopefully you can see. So Ryzen 7 1700X. So this is a 95 watt part, 3.4 gigahertz, base clocks, 3.8 I think it is, yep, 3.8 on precision boost. So that'll give you a nice little overclock. Also, it's got 8 cores, 16 threads, so more than enough for doing video editing, all that kind of stuff. And we've got another super chat. Who is that come from now? Sky Stalker has gone in with another 10 Canadian pesos. I will take it from here. Dear God. You crazy kids. Thank you very much. It is appreciated. And Kath's getting a decent workout on your gluteus maximus. So thanks for that. Moving back to the parts. So we've got the Freezer 34 Esports Duo, which is a twin 120mm cooler. Two decent fans on there using the new P series fans rather than the previous versions, the F-rated fans. So nice little cooler, happy days. Pretty sure it's going to fit in the case. I haven't worked it out yet, but we'll come to that anyway. If it doesn't fit, I'll just leave the glass off. It's not the end of the world. Case-wise, in the background here, we've got the Rio Toro. This is the CR100TG. Is that right? CR100TG. So this is the tempered glass case. Nice little case. Does everything it needs to, and it's got a nice RGB front panel, which you can use or not use. The choice is entirely up to you. £35 for the case. Actually, prices-wise, I didn't really go into the prices too much. So the case is £35. Processor you can pick up on the used market, which I would suggest doing, for around about £100. And the Freezer 34, anything between £25 and £30 on the UK market. And, oh God, here we go. British Noob is gone in with another super chat of £11. And I suppose I should put that down there. Has that gone back? British Noob's done it. British Noob says, I would back down now, Sky. Don't want to make you look silly. Oh dear, this is going to get out of hand. Right, calm down. It's going to be a long night. I don't want to empty your bank balances. I kind of do, but I don't. So moving on. So the case-wise, going with that. So £35 for the case, around about £100 used for the CPU. You can get it slightly less than that, but around about £100 would be a fair enough place to kind of estimate. You could obviously swap that out for a Ryzen 5 1600 for about £85, which would give you similar but not quite the same performance, but similar ballpark. Again, Ryzen 5 2600, which is essentially the same thing these days, similar kind of deal. For me personally, using Adobe Premiere, if you're going to be streaming and gaming streaming, the extra 2 cores and the extra 4 threads do actually make quite a difference when streaming. That is for sure. When editing in Adobe Premiere loves frequency, but it also loves cores when you're doing other things like warp stabilizing, all that kind of stuff. So extra cores is definitely worthwhile. The 1700X, in real terms, when I'm using it in video editing, easily competes with the Ryzen 5 3600. So if you can't quite stretch to the Ryzen 5 3600 levels, then the 1700X is a really, really good alternative. So storage-wise, 2 lots of storage. So we've got an OCZ 240GB ARC 100 drive for our main storage. That's going to be the operating system, Adobe Premiere, a couple of games. Not a massive drive, but again, this is a budget-based system. You can always add drives to it, however you choose, an SSD, 3.5-inch drive, whatever you want to do. But what I've decided to do for this particular build is also add in another 512 of SSD portable storage. So this is a Silicon Power Bolt B75 Pro, which is either USB Type-C or USB, and that's going to be more than adequate for transferring files, so you can edit offline onto this quite easily, no problems whatsoever. Then once you've got your footage done, you can then take it to another PC to upload or do whatever you want to do. But that is a really good option for portable storage. RAM-wise, again, Silicon Power we've gone with as well. This video isn't sponsored by Silicon Power, just put that out there. This is, in fact, actually the video is not sponsored by anyone other than myself and Kath. We sponsored this video because, yeah, we sponsored this video, technically, because we're paying for it. The RAM is the Silicon Power, and this is the, let's remember what it is, the Gaming Turbine. This is DDR4 3200, and there's another super chat come in. Oh my goodness. British Noobs just divvied up 30 UK pounds. 30 UK pounds, are you insane, my friend? He says, hey Mike, in all seriousness, you do a lot for us. I would like to pay you back, but covering a month of your Adobe subscription will do a lot for us, and I know this will be a tough time. I know it'll be a tough time for us all. I hope this helps. It does. It does definitely help. It's very much appreciated.
But stop now.
But please do stop. Wow, That's
They want me to get up to turn the lights on,
yeah.
do it without the disco ball if they
Kath
can.
says she'll get up and turn the disco ball lights off, or turn it on and turn the lights off if you ask nicely. You don't have to throw money at her. Whoa, I just noticed, hang on, Skystalker. Oh my God. Skystalker has just donated 50 Canadian dollars. Oh my God. This is, wow. This is pretty insane. That's another month or two of Adobe. Which actually is pretty cool because Adobe is a special offer to everybody at the moment because of the outbreak at the moment. They've actually given everybody a free couple of months, I think, or 1 month of free subscription. So yeah, we've got a few months going on there. That is pretty cool. God bless you. Honestly, thank you. That does mean a lot. I'm going to start welling up in a minute. Captain Meets Adventures is asking, has anyone signed up for Disney Plus? No, but I might be able to now. I'm just kidding. The money goes into the channel. Always goes into the channel. Wow. Absolutely stunned. And British News put in another £2. Kath's gone out of the room, so I think she's, I don't know what she's doing. If I can't turn the lights off, oh I can. Hey Google. Hey Google, turn off the studio lights.
Sorry, something went wrong and I'm unable to control your home device.
No, you did everything as you were asked to. Thank you, appreciate it. Hey Google, turn the studio lights on.
Sorry, something went wrong and I'm unable to control your home device.
No, it's done, it's worked. You've done what you're, oh, I give up. Guys, thank you so much. It's massively appreciated. Keith Conovan 1 says, I feel like I've stumbled into a strip club. It does feel like it. Am I supposed to be getting naked right now? I don't think that'd be good for viewers. Ricardo says, hey Mike, hoping you and Kath are okay. Yeah, we're doing good. We're slightly going a bit crazy at the moment in the house. It is a little bit testing, but I guess you're all going through that. So let's all be thankful we've got, touch wood, our health and stuff like that at the moment. Anyway, I'm looking through the comments. Thank you all so much for commenting and all that. Well, without you guys, there'd be no point in doing this. So genuinely, I feel blessed to have such a great bunch of people that just tune in and keep on commenting and adding to our community. You're all amazing. And I don't know why, but that thing will not turn off now. Oh, I can't stand up. Got my microphone on. Let's turn it off. There we go. I wonder what was going on. Oh, because I said turn the studio lights on. Of course, studio lights. Anyway. Oh, God, I just turned it off. Captain Meets Adventures says, the noob is right. Another £5. Right, seriously, stop it, you guys, now. Just don't do any more. Although Kath is back now, she can turn the lights off. Right, calm down yourselves, because otherwise you're going to burn the bulb out, even though it's an LED. Anyway, back to the build. So, we've got 16 gigs of DDR4, which is going to be more than adequate as long as we're not going up to 4K rendering. 4K rendering needs a little bit more, so 32 gigs, but again, this is kind of entry-level stuff, so we're going to try and stick with that. To be honest with you, it should be fine. Can't see any reason why not. If you get a couple of different streams on the timeline when you're editing, then you can start running into problems, or if you're streaming a game which is using up a lot of system memory, some of the newer games can eat into memory quite sufficiently, so if you can afford more RAM, get more RAM. And you, in some cases, especially for video editing, you're better off with more slower RAM than less faster RAM, if that makes sense. British Noob donated another £2 and they said, any more might make Mike actually cry. I'm not crying, it's just like there's onions being peeled. Whilst I'm looking at the screen, Darren UK says, lol, I agree. Noah, who's actually been a regular commenter on a lot of our stuff recently, thank you very much, it is appreciated. Some very kind comments you've said on Twitter. I don't know if they're true, but thank you anyway. Noah says, Mike, what is your suggestion? I'm looking to build a PC. Do you think I should buy a cheap Chinese AIO or a nice tower cooler from someone like CM? Truthfully, I would say for simplicity, go with a tower cooler. Something like the Freezer 34, you can pick up the single fan version, which is effectively a kind of same thing as a 212 Evo or Gamax 400, all those kinds of things. They were on offer, I think, for £19 recently on Amazon in the UK. I'm sure there would be similar deals elsewhere, so I'd probably go with the tower cooler just for simplicity. Captain Meets Adventure says, Mike, you need to realise we look forward to Mike's unboxing on a Saturday night. I'm glad someone does. Yeah, Click Tech Kev says, never buy a cheap AIO. Even some decent ones can turn out to be crap. It is very true. I think Kev did a review of the same one I did, the ID Cooling Aurora Flow, or a version of it, or the Frost Flow I think it was. And my fan packed up in that. I'm not sure if his did as well. Noah says, what do you mean how many of the tweets are true? I have a problem accepting compliments. It's, I think it's a British thing, or maybe it's a insecurity thing, but yes, I do find it difficult to accept compliments, so if you have given a compliment, if I give a funny answer or reply, I do apologise, it's just my natural instinct to do so. Anyway, moving on. So, rest of the stuff we've got in this build, which we haven't even started yet, I feel like this is turned into something like a certain American narcissist that we all know. Anyway, moving on. So, cooling wise, we're going, obviously, because it's a Rio Toro case, and the fact that they sent me these for free, it seemed rude not to use them. So we're going to be using the Rio Toro Prism RGB fan set, which actually, I got to be honest with you, I don't particularly want to use. But they are Rio Toro, it's a Rio Toro case, so it makes sense to put it in there. I personally don't think these are the right fans for this particular case, but essentially it's a video editing machine, it doesn't need to look nice. Even though these fans do look quite nice, but they don't quite fit in with the RGB theme of the case. And actually, that's one thing I should mention. When I did the review of the CR100 TG, I did mention about there was an RGB cable that came out, and I was mentioning it didn't fit into anything. But actually, I've had conversation with the guys at Rio Toro, actually one of the kind of main developers, I suppose you'd call them, or designers, product designers. And there are, I'm not sure if I'm supposed to, am I supposed to say this? I'm not sure if I am. Oh well, they haven't told me I can't say it.
Did they?
I can't remember now. They've actually said that Rio Toro are on the verge of releasing a whole new set of value-orientated or budget addressable RGB fans,
Budget is not budget.
which work with 5-volt addressable RGB, but also have a specific fly lead to connect to Rio Toro cases that are being released at the moment. So the control panel on the front of that case will control the new ARGB fans which are coming out, and apparently they're supposed to be very, very good, very, very cheap. So I'm totally looking forward to seeing them. So we'll see what happens with that. Yeah, so that's cooling wise. Graphics card, obviously, that's the obvious choice for this. Well, I'll say not the obvious choice. The two contenders would have been the Sapphire Nitro RX 580, either the 4 gig or 8 gig version. Around about £100 used, 150 to £180 new, or this one. Now, this does have less VRAM, it's only got 4 gigs of VRAM, and is actually a lot smaller and uses a lot less energy, which is obviously a good thing. If you're rendering, you're leaving the machine rendering your footage, maybe overnight, if you've got a lot of transitions and stuff like that, then energy usage is going to be a concern to some extent, especially economically at the moment, all that kind of stuff. So, with this having the Turing chip, all the extra features for streaming, video content production, again in Adobe Premiere, this for me is a fantastic choice. Also, doesn't generate a lot of heat, so if you've got a PC which is chugging away overnight or rendering, or you're streaming a live game, because it's not generating much heat, it's not affecting the rest of the components in the system, so you don't need to have a ton of fans to keep everything nice and cool. And fans in a PC generally mean noise, so it's just something else you don't have to worry about if you're doing live streaming. So I have thought all these things through. It's not just like, oh, what's on the shelf, what can I throw together? There are genuine reasons why I've selected these components, apart from most of them being sent free, but I digress. Motherboard wise, I suppose this is probably one of the more kind of flexible parts of the build. So this is the Asus Prime X370 Pro. Three reasons really why I've chosen this. One is because I've used it previously for video editing machines and I've found it to be extremely stable. Overclocks like an absolute champ. The power delivery is fantastic, and even compared with X470 boards and good decent B450 boards, and even some of the X570 boards, like some of the cheaper MSI ones, this thing blows them out of the park. Supports a lot of features. SLI if you wanted to, not that you could with this card, but it's got USB Type-C on it, which is going to be good for the what's it called? Sorry, Cass put me off. For the silicon power drive, so that connects on USB Type-C, and this has both a USB Type-C header on the back, connection on the back, and also the option to connect one on the front. Now, unfortunately, the case doesn't have one, but it still could be fantastic if you wanted to put it in a different case and you wanted to use a front-mounted USB Type-C. Also, it has a ton of SATA ports. You've got 8 SATA ports. You also got your NVMe slot as well. So there's plenty of flexibility. I genuinely do love this board. It is a fantastic board. I've had 3 of them now, and they've all been pretty much, touch wood, they've been flawless. I haven't had any problems. Even when I've been stupid and tried to double flash a BIOS, they've all come through and been really good. And the VRM cooling on it is exceptional. I think it's got like a 12-phase VRM on there or something crazy. So actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, yeah, 12 different phases. Pretty decent. Well, technically it's 8 plus 4, but let's not split hairs. Right, so what's my Kath?
I don't know if you need to read any comments.
Kath's pointing at their phone, which normally means either she wants me to show my bingo wings off. Well, the bingo wings are getting better this week because, oh, you can't really see it, yeah, the box is hiding my bingo wings. Actually, this week, because we've been essentially locked in, I've been mowing the garden with the hand push-along mower, which is bloody hard work, and I've basically, first cut of the year, and done it a little bit more, taking the DeWalt strimmer out. Really get some good exercise out there, really enjoying it. So, anyway.
No, we're bored because it was not sunny.
Yeah, that's right. Yes. Right, questions wise, I'll get into the questions in a minute. I'm going to start getting the build going. What I might try and do is get Kath to relay the questions to me whilst I'm doing this, because otherwise I'm going to be here all night and it's going to be ending up like a 3-part video where I get the motherboard and processor on in one video and then to be continued. I can be Mike Holzman, your PC paramedic. Ah dear, right, let's get on with it. So let's get the board prepped first of all, because the case is kind of almost prepped anyway, so we won't worry about that too much. So the first thing to do is obviously IO shield, very important. Always use an IO shield if at all possible. Now, as you can tell, this board isn't a brand new retail product because it's one that I have used myself. So let's get the board ready. Look at that board, that is a great board. Don't you reckon? Isn't that a sexy looking board? Those VRM coolers are something else, aren't they? They really are. Okay, so what do we need to do to the board? So because we're using the Ryzen 7 1700X and the Freezer 34 eSports Duo, we're going to need to remove the plastic clips off of there. So we'll get that ready and we'll get the fans and the processor and all that ready. Retail price of the board is a very good question actually. At the moment, I don't think the boards are available as a new product. Maybe Kath can have a quick look on Amazon and see what they're saying. I think when it first came out, it was around about the £160 mark back in the day. The board is an older board now because obviously it did come out with the first generation of Ryzen processors. So that would have been, what, 2015, 2014? The motherboard is the Prime X370 Pro. Oh, that's handy. So most of the clips and stuff are actually already on there. What I will need to do, this is the one thing I don't like about Arctic cooling, is you've got to take the fans off to actually put the tower onto the box, onto the board rather, which is a pain.
370
X370, yeah.
for a cardan?
No, Asus.
Can't see it on the game.
It might not be on there anymore. Whee! Just throwing stuff all around the place. So while I'm doing this, yeah, feel free to have a chat amongst yourselves.
Can't see it.
Because I can't see what's going on. Actually, I can read at the same time, can't I? So, actually, someone's just mentioned about latency on there at the moment. I presume that's talking about memory latency. One thing I've noticed actually recently, which I don't know whether you lot have, is BIOS latency. Seems to be a real thing. Now, I know that most BIOSes really are intended for use with the keyboard and mouse, which is what we've pretty much always done. But more modern BIOSes obviously have a UEFI, so you can control them with a mouse. Let me know how many of you out there actually, when you go into your BIOS, find that your mouse is laggy as hell, especially in some of the newer BIOSes. I'll have a look for a show of hands, but I'm pretty sure the BIOSes seem to be getting laggier and laggier, as I guess effectively you're basically running a kind of Windows piece of hardware, which has got hardware acceleration and all that kind of stuff built into the USB, but effectively you're running it through like a DOS program. So it kind of makes sense. And I can't imagine them putting a filter driver for the USB in there, because it just takes up extra room within the BIOS. Alessa says, I never use my mouse in the BIOS, and Jack says, I've never been in my BIOS. Okay. British Noob says, my BIOS seems fine, although I don't always use my mouse.
I've never seen you use a mouse in it, to be honest.
I don't like using a mouse in the BIOS if I can possibly help it. I really don't. It upsets me, because I'm so used to doing it from just using a tab space, page up, page down, all that kind of stuff.
Stonky hands.
My stonky hands just splashing around the keyboard, but I'll do that and break that. Processor, Ryzen 7 1700X. What a fantastic processor that is. I've had this processor in my possession now since, when did I start the channel?
2017. 21st of January.
It was about 5 months into the channel, and then I swapped my i7 for the 1700X, and it was like, woo, wow, that's pretty cool. Never look back. So CPU wise, if you're putting a CPU onto a AM4 motherboard,
What CPU was it?
the easy way to work out which way round it goes is if you look at the writing on the actual socket, it will say socket AM4. Actually, if I get the other camera, you can see it's a little bit better. So it will say on the socket, ooh, wobbly camera. Hopefully you can see that. Is that visible? Look at that shaky camera work there. So just about here, you see where it says socket AM4.
No.
It might focus eventually. So it says AM4 there, socket AM4. So the writing there should be the same way round as the writing there on the CPU itself. So if the writing there says Ryzen and it's upside down from there, you're going to break it. Don't do it. So that's the way it should be in. That's the easy way of doing it. Also, there is a marker in the corner. So see the little gold finger there? Not my finger, the little gold, little triangle rather. If you look on the actual plate underneath, there is also a marker to show that it should be that in that corner. Anyway, you get the idea. So let's get some thermal paste on there. Now this is going to upset the hell out of some people. So this paste is HY710, sorry.
Richard Lucas wonders, have you got any X99 boards here?
Richard Lucas, no, I don't. No X99 boards, sorry. Matthew Day says, careful, don't Linus it. So how many of you tried your BIOS now? So with this is like really, really conductive, very dangerous, but very good thermal conductivity. So we're going to do a little splat on there. And put the lid on, because this stuff gets absolutely everywhere. Now, in theory, you should kind of spread that around a little bit if you wanted to. It's totally open to your own whatever. The actual instructions for the Freezer 34 say you should do 4 lines actually on the CPU exposed cooling section, like the pipes. But we're not going to do that, because that's just, well, silly. Although they say it works well. And they are engineers and stuff, whereas I am clearly not. So, CPU wise, don't need that anymore.
Mikey from the block.
I'm just Mikey from the block, exactly. So, actually, I suppose I should show you how much thermal paste I've used. So, there we go. That's pretty much all you need. Doesn't need to be a lot. A little will go a long way. Now, of course, if you want to, you can press it out and make it thinner. Yeah, entirely up to you. It's probably best if you don't, to be honest with you, but again, I generally do, because I'm a bit stupid like that. Has that gone back to the right camera?
It's your stress toy.
Yeah, it is my stress toy. Sorry, there's quite a delay between there and there. Ghost Adder says, that's little. Right, just to satisfy the naysayers, I'm going to put a little bit more on. Do you know the word moron actually means carrot in Welsh? A bit of trivia for you there. There we go, tiny little bit more.
Noob says it's enough in his opinion, so you need to take that back off. No, I'm only joking. He does say it's enough though.
That is enough.
You didn't ask for it to be taken off.
Right, actually tell you what we can do, as a matter of kind of principle or whatever, we've got some blue roll. So what I'm going to do is now, I'm going to put this actually onto the cooler, onto the CPU, and we'll give it a little bit of a squidge around, because that's what you would normally do. So when you're lining it up, you might move it around a little bit. And so now if we take it off, we'll see what the coverage was actually like. So if I lift it straight up, or try to, it probably won't, because it'll want to slide because of the gap. So there we go, that is what it's pretty much covered. Not exactly scientific, which you guys see that okay? Yeah, so that is what it's covered. So it has covered the majority of it. It's not too bad. Now if we look at the actual chip itself, isn't too bad at all. And that will spread out a little bit. Right, so the cooler itself, when you put these on, you put it, there's an Arctic logo on there which makes it nice and easy, so you know which way it goes round. So put that on there. Squish it around a little bit, just make sure it's making decent contact all around. And get our screw, oh, I didn't put the spacers on. Damn. Schoolboy error.
Oh,
Just when it was all going so right.
You're more experienced than them.
I'm more experienced.
You're more experienced than me, you know what you're doing. And you cock that.
Yeah, then I screw it up completely.
How much is a Freezer 33 nowadays?
Freezer 33 in the region of about 20 to 25 pounds when it's on offer. If it's not on offer, somewhere between 25 and 35 pounds. I'll take it off again now.
Sky Stalker says because of the chiplet design, it might be best to spread it out a little.
Yeah, it is spread out a little bit actually, and looking at it now, it hasn't covered as much as I'd have hoped it would.
Got to remember, guys, as he screws it down, it'll spread a little more. This is sounding disgusting. Tech porn.
So with the freezer, you should put these onto the AMD mounting pillar. Make sure you screw them in with the right threads, otherwise it's not going to work.
What is your preference, LGA, PGA FPGA or, God forbid, BGA when it comes to your CPUs? That's no.
No, I don't really have a preference. I would say I have a preference actually in the CPU type, but not so much in the actual arrangement of it, whether it's like chips, pins, whatever, slotted, you know, anything like that. I personally, as long as the chip does what it's meant to do and does it at a good price, I don't mind what layer it is. For Intel, it's a pain because boards get damaged really easily. The chips generally last quite well. And obviously AMD have got the entire opposite. So the actual socket is pretty much indestructible within reason, but the pins bend on the CPU quite easily. I would say I've probably seen more damaged boards than I've seen damaged chips. Roughly. Possibly. I think that probably sounds about right.
Pull in. Babe,
Hello? What's the matter? I don't need that now, I don't think.
pull and replace can give you air pockets, they say.
Pull and replace can give you air pockets, which I do kind of agree. Well, I do agree, it does give you air pockets, but the air pockets themselves, once you've got it under pressure, as we all know, air compresses much, much easier than a fluid or a solid. So if you want to try that for yourself, take a drink of something in your mouth and push your cheeks in. Pretty much guaranteed that the fluid is going to come out. Do the same with air, and you can compress it a little bit because oxygen compresses. Hence why we get the bends.
What the hell are you talking about?
What? What am I talking about?
Yeah.
Science. So air compresses a lot easier than a solid. So if you do have micro bubbles, they will become micro bubbles under compression. Does that make sense? It should do. Kind of makes sense. Do you understand, Kath? If Kath understands, anyone should understand.
Yeah, kind of.
Kind of, okay.
Any update
I can
on
work
your
with that.
CSGO server, Mike? Did you find the person you needed and are people playing on the server?
Jack's update on the server. To be honest with you, it's been one of those things where, because of all the crazy crap that's been going on, I've kind of given it a little bit of a back burner. The server is up and running, and people have been playing on it. Possibly not as much as they may have done normally, because again, we are under very, very testing times at the moment. But the server is up and running. I currently don't have, well, I've got some ideas for it. I want to make some customization to the maps. I want to add some Mike's Unboxing logos on walls for textures, that kind of stuff, which, if I'm completely honest, is completely out of my kind of scope of what I can physically do with programming, because it's not my thing, and I don't particularly have time to learn it. So if somebody wants to do it, I would be relatively happy to let somebody else do it. I think we've pretty much come to the conclusion that one of our regulars, Angry Doge, who's currently in here, is going to end up being the kind of administrator as time goes on of the server, being that I just don't have time to kind of oversee it all the time. So Angry Doge will be the one who kind of oversees things, but essentially, yeah, we can work with people and do pretty much whatever.
Is the monitor behind the YouTube chat?
Yes.
Does the server cost money? Are you renting it? So I still pay.
The server does cost money. I think it's about $15 to $16 a month, from what I recall. I'd have to look at the invoice. But yeah, it isn't a free server. It is something that I have paid for you guys to enjoy, or for us all to enjoy. And it also is a means of kind of advertising, I suppose, as well, for Mike's Unboxing. So it's not one of those kind of frivolous things where I'm just throwing money away. It is trying to build a community of gamers. And it'd be nice to have some people, because you get some people that are like really into the games, and that's fair enough, but you do also get people who want to just be a bit casual about it. They just want to have a laugh, have a chat, and maybe they don't know the rules of the game, maybe they don't know how everything works, or the mechanics of the game, that kind of thing. So the idea really is for the server to be for newbies, essentially, to get involved, play the game, learn how it all works, and yeah, have some fun. But without the pressure of kind of professionals on there telling you that you're a noob when you don't need to be told that, because you know you're a noob. Does that make sense?
Can give you a hand maybe in the future.
Jax, that is very, very kind. Yeah, we will need some help. At the moment, the server's actually running okay and doesn't seem to be having any issues. It's got a very, very basic setup. It is literally like the kind of out-of-the-box setup. It's running just a couple of regular maps, which actually I'm quite happy with. It's some of the more, well, not more popular, but more old-school maps. So we've got things like Dust, obviously, Office, Italy, which pretty much are my 3 personal favourites anyway. So there's a couple of others in the rotation as well. But if you want to join us, we'll try and get the details on the screen, or maybe Doge can do it and stick it on there if he remembers them, because Kath won't know what they are.
Is it on Steam?
It's not on. It is on Steam.
Actually,
It's on the Discord. But yeah, if you want to join the server, it doesn't cost anything. If you want to help out towards the payment of the server, you're more than welcome to make a donation. But hopefully the money that we make from the YouTube channel and super chats and stuff like that will all go towards those extra little things that we add to the community. So there we go. There is the cooler installed. Nice and pretty simple. I like this. The new spring clips on the Freezer 34, much nicer than the ones on the 33. Even though they look pretty much identical, they stay in the actual fixing holes a lot easier. So it remains in place, which we like. Ghost Adder, we look forward to seeing you. A little bit of Dust 2, can't beat it. We like Dust 2.
ClickTech is definitely a noob.
ClickTech is going to be a noob, okay? Well, everyone's a noob. Kath will be a noob, even though actually our kids, actually the Counter-Strike sounds are like womb music to, especially to George. Because when he was very young, that was basically what I spent most of my time doing.
Well, Angel, I think.
Angel as well, probably, yeah. Now, I can't remember whether I'm supposed to use channels 1 and 3 or 2 and 4. I think it's 2 and 4 on this.
I was going to say 1 and 3.
I'll go with 2 and 4. It's essentially not going to make a massive amount of difference.
Sky Stalker would like to play after the stream, maybe.
After the stream, yeah, we can certainly we can do that. Sounds like a good idea. A bit of a wind down.
Sky's going to increase his Patreon donation to help pay for the server.
Oh, talking of Patreon donations, whilst we're on that subject, that reminds me, we will be making some changes to our Patreon membership in order to actually give something back to you guys as well. So if you are a $10 a month patron, you will get a brand new, shiny, hot off the press Mike's Unboxing t-shirt in the size of your choice. If you continue to be a member, you will receive a new t-shirt either every 6 months or every 12 months, depending on some logistics and how much it costs to ship, etc. So you can deck out your wardrobe in Mike's Unboxing attire for a very, very cheap price. Also as well, we will be in Christmas time or winter time. Well, more so here, I suppose, more, yeah, because seasons change. Basically, we're going to try and get hold of some beanie hats as well, and we'll be giving those out to the $5 a month Patreon subscribers. So that'll be updated on the Patreon site very shortly. Anyone who's already a member of the Patreon will be kind of grandfathered in on the higher rates. So don't worry if you're already a member and you've only paid in whatever, you'll get grandfathered into the kind of the t-shirt category. Maybe there'll be other categories, but me and Kath have been working on it, having a look at it this week, logistics, and working out how much it's going to cost, because we're going to get the t-shirts made and we're actually going to send them out from here, Mike's Unboxing, not going to get them sent from some sweatshop in China, especially now. We're going to get the t-shirts made in the United Kingdom, keep businesses local, keep businesses going, and then we're going to actually physically send them out ourselves with a handwritten letter or typed letter, signed whatever, saying thank you, all that kind of stuff, just to give you that more personal touch. So look out for that in the very, very near future, possibly even tomorrow.
Wish Bobby Bain luck for building his $500 PC this week.
Sorry, who's that?
Bobby Bain.
Bobby Bain, best of luck with building your PC. Hope it goes well. Yeah, Angry Doge makes a good comment. Because it is a custom server for Counter-Strike, if you want to join, there's a kind of few little things you have to go through if you're not sure of how to join. Feel free to either DM myself or Angry Doge on our Discord, and he'll go through it with you to get you set up. It is very simple. Ideally, if you can, go through Doge because he is going to be the kind of administrator, but entirely up to you. Jack's, yeah, I don't know. British Noob says, if I give you 50, do I get a used t-shirt to sell on eBay? I'll even sign it. Well, actually, that's one thing. The Mike's Unboxing t-shirts, I was going to just do the classic ones, like basically the black one with this printing on. There are options for other layouts, etc., etc. Yeah, let us know what you want to do, whether you want different ones. Someone just goes down and asked, how about some toilet roll? Mike's Unboxing toilet roll. It's not a bad idea.
Right. Said you can always DM him if they're busy.
Oh yeah, British Noob says also you can DM him as well. So if there's anything you need, he can help you out as well. Has my stream died? No. Skystalker, you're too kind. Skystalker says, I just updated my Patreon account to the maximum amount, $15 US. Thank you so much. That does mean a lot to us. Between British Noob and Skystalker, you are essentially keeping the Mike's Unboxing family afloat. So, thank you very much. Obviously, yeah. Who else? There is Captain Meets Adventures, who's both keeping our spirits lifted and our bank balance lifted as well. And Matthew Day as well. Bless you all. I almost had a little poo then. Right, so we've done our cooler. So we can get rid of some of this stuff, we can clear away some of the crap on the desk. Always a good idea with your cooler, when you take off the mounting pillars to put on the new cooler, put the mounting pillars back in the box with the cooler, so you know which cooler it's with. Does that make any sense? Does that make any sense? What's your phone doing, Kath?
It's my old work colleagues having a conversation.
Hey ho. Right. Cool. What time is it? 10 o'clock already. An hour in, and we've got the motherboard. We've got the RAM and the processor on. This definitely is a Kerry Holzman stream for sure.
Brian79 says he has the Arctic Resource Geo, top quality, cooler and cheap.
It is a very, very good. I actually really do like Arctic coolers. I do have options to use pretty much any cooler I want, and generally I do stick with Arctic cooling stuff. It is very good. And actually their support guys and girls are awesome. I don't think I've ever really had to have any real problems answered, but generally if I've asked them any sort of oddball question that I wasn't sure of, they've answered very, very quickly. So can't really fault them for that. Okay, so next thing to do is to get the power supply into the case, and then we'll put the motherboard in and all the graphics cards and all that kind of stuff. Actually, that's pretty much most of it done, isn't it? Right, let's get rid of this. Let's make some room.
Noah's asked, do you stream on Twitch or Mixer?
No, we only stream on YouTube.
We did once stream a game on something.
I think I did. Yeah, I think I did stream a live game on. I think that was on Twitch.
Stream on that.
I can't remember what it was.
It was that ski game, wasn't it?
Oh yeah. So everybody, it's case time. And for those of you that are looking, you can see Kath in the reflection right now if you've eagle-eyed. She's looking away. Get her on the return. She hates me. So, Rio Toro CR100 TG. So, tempered glass side panel, which is slightly dark, which is quite Oh dear, that nearly went. It's not held on, so if you take the screws out, it will fall off. Oh dear. So, as you can see, it's quite a dark tint to it, which is quite nice because it's quite forgiving.
Not if you keep dropping it.
But not if I drop it, it's not forgiving then. It would be very, very less forgiving. Okay, so there's the inside of the case, and as you can see, there we've got no power supply basement, so we can mount the power supply upwards or downwards. Essentially, the choice is entirely up to you. Got a mounting rail on the bottom for 3.5-inch drives. Got space on the front for 3 120mm fans, which is pretty sweet. There's space on the top for 2 120mm fans, although there are going to be very, very close tolerance to the motherboard. So I would say you're probably better off going with a kind of positive pressure, so maybe 3 fans in the front or 2 fans in the front, 1 in the rear, and then just use this to vent some of the heat that's generated at the top. But again, we shouldn't be generating too much heat. Graphics card is pretty cool running. The CPU is probably the one thing which is going to get quite hot, especially streaming or rendering. Rendering kills CPU cycles, it really does. And with 8 cores, 16 threads, all trying to max out at 3.8 gigahertz on the 1700X, 95 watts TDP, you probably are going to be generating quite a little bit of heat.
The Grind 79, I just rebuilt my media PC today. I got a cube case AVP.
Oh yeah.
23 quid, nice little case for money.
The to answer a question or to comment that's just come in about the case little
AVP.
the AVP Hyperion, the little case. It's actually really good value for money if you haven't seen one already. It's quite a cube-like case. If some people don't go a lot on the cube type cases, personally, for my particular needs, because both our computer desks for me and Kath are kind of like those IKEA desks where you've got a slot where your processor goes, so we can't really use those kind of cases, unfortunately. But yeah, it's a nice case if you've got the desk for it. If you've got a nice little flat desk like this, cube cases are awesome for it. So just looking around at the comments, Jax Teller says she's shy. Yes, she is, very much so. British Noobs, looking forward to see how this case turns out. Yeah, you and me both. I'm a little concerned about the back panel, if I'm completely honest, because I don't think the wires are going to go through particularly neatly. And there isn't a massive amount of room here on this back. So it's going to be slightly testing, which is why I'm considering not putting the Radiatori fans in, purely because they've got the additional fan controller. And I think I'm going to struggle to actually hide it somewhere inside the case where it's not going to be a complete pain in the arse. Anyway, moving on. ClickTech says, my net is a bit jittery. MMB Tech TV says, good evening Mike, hope you and the family are well. We are all good. Thank you for joining us. I think MMB Tech just had a live stream as well this evening, so hopefully your stream went awesome. We'll be checking out a little bit later on in the repeats. If you haven't checked out our other YouTuber members' channels here, so we've got, oh, hang on, pause on that thought. We've got another super chat come in from Ria Ayres. Ria Ayres has donated 79 UK pence to Mike's Unboxing. God bless you, Ria Ayres. We appreciate that. Kath's excited because that's her friend. Oh, it's my little Ria. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for reducing your bank balance for Mike's Unboxing. We appreciate it. British Noob says, my bank balance after this stream. Yeah, going back to what I was saying before that. Mike's Unboxing, our family, you guys, the community that we're making, trying to build. We also encourage other YouTube channels as well that we know personally, work with, have dealings with, etc., etc. So please do, if you see another YouTuber in our chat or making comments, whatever, go over, visit their channel, spread some love onto them as well. We've got ClickTech Kev, we've got Welsh Toners Unboxing, MMB Tech, numerous others, Captain Meets Adventures, if you want to have a little bit of a laugh and see some craziness to take your mind off all the weird shit that goes on in the world at the moment. Definitely worth doing that. Thought I could feel something shaking then. I thought it was an earthquake. There's been a lot of earthquakes around recently. I thought we were having an earthquake. No, it's just Noob's bank balance shifting. Noah says, can you put a link to the merch store in the chat, please? Kath will be doing that very shortly. Fred Young says, evening people. Evening Fred, how are you doing? What a great noise. ClickTech UK says, cheers Mike, you have a new patron. God bless you, sir. Oh, Matthew Day, yeah, of course, Matthew Day as well. Matthew's Day done some rubbish videos as well, so you can check out his rubbish videos, my rubbish videos, Kev's rubbish videos, MMB Tech's rubbish videos. We're all amateurs in this game, aren't we? But what the hell, go and watch the videos anyway. What else are you going to do? You're sat at home, you're on the sofa, twiddling with your balls or lady bits. What else are you going to do? Go and watch some videos, spread some love around the YouTube community.
Just because you were doing your garden.
Right. ClickTech Kev says, I want a t-shirt. The t-shirts, hopefully,
You haven't ordered.
I haven't ordered yet. They will be ordered. I might see if I can place the order tomorrow because it's all online anyway, so I don't actually have to physically see anyone, speak to anyone or do anything, so we are social distancing. British Noob is put on another £5. Sorry Mike, I just jumped. I've put on a lot of weight since the lockdown. So Noob is to blame for the earthquake, and for his penance he has donated £5 to the Mike's Unboxing Reviews and How-To channel. I forgot even what the channel was called then. It's bad when you forget what your own bloody channel's called. And actually, can you stop doing super chats so I can see with the wires?
I thought it was me that said don't do any junk food.
Oh, did he?
I thought so.
Noob said don't do any super chats during the build. That worked out well. Okay, so yeah, Kath has just put the link for the t-shirt merch. To be completely honest with you, like, yeah, if you want to buy it from them, I think it's from T-Mail.
Yeah.
Yeah, T-Mail. If you want to get it from them, feel free to do so. They're a little bit more expensive. Complete transparency, because it's done from another company and they want to put their bit on it, whatever you. We set a price which is about, I think, $2 over what their price is, just so it's actually worthwhile going through the process of doing the orders and that. Yeah, it's not the cheapest. If you do it from the Patreon site, do your $10 subscription, you get a t-shirt.
What size motherboards can you fit inside the standard NZXT H510?
That is a very good question. Thanks, Fred Young. Fred Young has donated £5, so I have to go and start eating carrots so I can see what I'm doing whilst trying to build this thing in a disco. Actually, that's not a bad idea. We should do that. Do a live stream where I build a PC with just the light of the disco ball, and then to see if it actually posts at the end of it. I don't think it will. Although saying that, the way the super chats are flying in at the moment from you guys, it is almost like doing that anyway. Now, disclaimer, well not a disclaimer, oh my god, here we go again. No wires in the dark. Swine. Captain Meets Adventures puts up another £2. And actually, in all seriousness, if you want to have a laugh, well, I'm not sure whether you'd see it as a laugh or just someone who has kind of severe issues. Go and watch Captain Meets Adventures videos. But actually, go on the chat, right click on the 3 dots and open his channel in another tab. You don't even need to have the audio on, he's just completely mad. But quite funny at the same time. And what is better in the times of dire straits like what we have at the moment than a little bit of dark British humour? Because we are pretty good at that, to be honest with you. As British people, we always see the kind of dark humour in things, like someone could have their leg shot off or something and they'll be like, oh, go on, walk it off. That kind of thing. We do excel at that kind of thing. I don't know why. It's been built into us from a very, very kind of young age, I think. I'm digressing, I do apologise. Right, IO shield, we'll stick that in and see if I lose any fingers or extremities whilst doing so. In actual fact, this case looks like most of the edges have been rounded off pretty nicely. Yeah, and that fits in quite well. So sometimes that can be an issue on these slightly more cost-effective cases. We, bloody hell, noob. British noob has put in another £2. He is going to be crying into his bank statement next month. Although saying that, I don't know. I'm not sure what he does for a living, so the government's paying you 80% of your wages at the moment anyway, so you can't be spending a lot because you're stuck indoors. So why not spend it here? There's a positive spin on the crazy situation. Right, fans. Do I put the Rio Tory fans in the front or do I leave them out?
Has the Babe channel been cancelled because of social contact?
As what?
Babe channel that he watches.
Babe channel? Which one?
That's what Noob watches, isn't it? That's
Oh,
what
right, yeah.
he said last time he would only pay for it or no. Has that been cancelled because of social contact?
Darren Nitch says we like a good cuppa as well. Speaking of good cuppa, can I have my cup of tea, please, Kath? Now you've sat down. I left it in the kitchen. Jack Teller's finally getting it. So every time someone donates, Kath has to get up and turn off the lights. Yes. Which is beneficial to both of us because it's helping Kath to stay indoors because she doesn't have to go outside and exercise, and also gets nice firm buttocks, which is good for me.
Do you want bickies?
Mm-mm. Fred Young says I blame the Carry On films. Yeah, they do have a lot to answer for. Jack Teller says the best pandemic workout ever. Cuppa with Bickies. Defo Bickies says MMB Tech TV. Come on then, people. What? Oh, Matron says Kev. Come on, people. What is your favourite biscuit? Let's hear it. I want to hear what your favourite biscuits are. And I'm still debating what to do about this whole thing of extra fans in the front. I'm actually seriously considering going without, because I don't think it actually needs it. I've got one fan in the back, so that's going to ejaculate some heat out the back. Sorry, not allowed to say ejaculate. Yeah, do I, don't I? I really, really would like to put Arctic, either the F or P series fans in the front there with their PWM header. They would fit in there really nicely. I'm gonna have to put the RGB ones in, aren't I? It's gonna have to be done. Oh, typical, I just wired that through there. Oh, God, come on, go. Oh, Jesus, that's on tight. Right, so let's pull out some of these wires before I break them off. So, what's your favourite biscuits? MMB Tech TV, custard cream all the way. Now, MMB Tech, this is probably going to be more of a British question, but we'll go with it anyway, because what the hell? Do you break off one half of the biscuit, then eat that first, and then have the other half that's got the custard cream and half a biscuit, so you get a stronger flavour from the creamy bit in the middle? Or is it just me being a weirdo? Just asking. Right, that is that disconnected. Now, where's my fans gone? Oh, there you are. You're all out there. Wow, that's presumptuous. I have become Kerry Holzman. Right, so fans. Now, there is actually a mounting bracket which comes with this case, which again, I stand corrected because in the video, I did do the review of this and I was like, well, what the hell are these for? But what they've said is these are actually for mounting two 140mm fans in the front. Sorry, 120mm fans in the front, or a 240 AIA radiator. So these essentially go in here and here, so you can kind of centralize the airflow slightly more. And I would actually say that if you put them round the other way, does that make it wider or not? Doesn't, does it? No, it doesn't. I was thinking that maybe you could get 140s in there as well, but you can't, so I will shut up. So let's get these things put in. I think I'll use these. What sort of thread do they use? Digestives and rich tea, good for Ghost Adder. Oh, I can see now, the British Noob is actually, keeps on threatening us with starting his YouTube channel up and doing some streaming and stuff like that. And keeps on, he's saying, oh, what can I do? What can I review? It's like, well, review anything. If it's in front of you, review it. Hell, I'd review the screwdriver if I could.
You've reviewed
I probably would.
chocolate chip cookies.
I've actually reviewed chocolate chip cookies purely because
You had a cold.
I had a cold and I couldn't be bothered to buy anything else. And we went shopping and we came back and we hadn't made a video. And I'd had half a bottle of Corona. We did drink Corona then as well, didn't it?
Yeah.
Shit. And we had a couple of, well, half a bottle of Corona, and we used that as our palate cleanser. If you haven't seen that video yet, you should seriously watch it because it's bloody stupid. To be fair, it was absolutely ridiculous. I don't even know why I did it. Well, I know why I did it because sometimes you just can't help yourself. I get that a lot. I just looked up and all I saw was someone saying about getting a floater, and immediately I was just like, I can't even read it. I'm not even going to go there.
Right, do you want to know their biscuits?
Right, yeah, Kath, tell me about their biscuits. So, who's having what?
Caramel digestive is Pierre.
Caramel digestive, now that is a biscuit right there. Caramel digestive is one of those things that kind of, if you're feeling a little bit down and you're like, oh, I feel really crap, a caramel digestive with that super chocolatey top is just the right thing to make you feel a whole lot better about the world in general. It's amazing. Actually, all seriousness, no, actually I'm not going to say that. I was going to say, they should hand those out at these NHS clinics and stuff for the doctors and nurses, because there's something about a caramel digestive biscuit which is just so good. With a nice warm cup of tea as well. Not too hot that you can't drink the tea, but yeah, oh.
Custard cream.
Custard cream is a good choice. Kev's on the custard creams. Okay.
Malted milks. Noob.
Malted milk, wow.
Is that the one with the cows?
Yeah, they got a cow print. What was the ones that used to have like a sports figure on it, like a stickman sports figure?
Oh, I know. They used to have different ones.
Yeah, they had all different ones, like
bally shapes around the edge.
Nice biscuits,
Is Pokey a biscuit?
caramel digestives are upper class. They certainly are. There is, like I said, oh, caramel digestives, yo.
Jack Dellow's got a bit sports biscuit. Dipped.
A what?
Sports biscuit.
What's a sport? Oh yeah, sports biscuits.
That's what you
Yeah, sports biscuits. They were cool.
They're a little bit minty, really.
I don't know if they were minty or whether you just imagined mint because they were so bland. They were bland as all hell, weren't they?
Bread.
Shortbread biscuits.
Maria said not Michaela's chocolate hobnob.
No. By the way, everybody, if you're ever coming into our local neck of the woods, Downend, there are certain places you should avoid, and oh, Kath says I can't say that, sorry. PM me. I'll let you know.
Coconut ring. Jack Teller.
Rich tea fingers and a jar of Nutella. Oh, Kev, you're talking my language now, son. That is, yes.
What did you have today?
What do we have today? What do we have today?
What angel cooked you?
Oh, we have flapjacks today. Angel bakes some flapjacks. Flapjacks are also good in a time of national emergency.
So you had a plain one, didn't you?
Plain flapjack, yeah.
And then
What? Then I had a chocolate dipped one. I had Nutella spread on flapjack. I don't know why I keep on putting on weight at the moment. Weird. Must be the weather. Now, in hindsight, putting these fans in was probably not a great idea. And I'm already beginning to regret it. I'm only 2 screws in. But, bit like Bitwit Carl, I am going to screw with confidence and we're going to get this done.
Kev said that
That's if I don't shatter the plastic.
Kerry would be finished by now. Just saying.
Kevin, you're a very bad man. By this time, if I was Kerry Holzman, by this time I'd be getting onto my my USB repair tool and telling you how I've put all these great tools together when I haven't. These screws are ridiculous. Thanks Rio Torre for providing them. 1,000 thanks and all that. But they're bloody awful. They're so
Oh, Glenn's eating
wrong
Jaffas
thread.
at the moment.
Jaffa cakes.
But is it Jaffas or Jaffa cakes?
Jaffa cakes.
Yes, British noob. You're the only one that likes malted milk.
Skystalker says no flapjacks, pancakes. I'm confused. Is a flapjack a different thing in Canada? We should find out. In the UK, a flapjack is a oat-based snack type thing, I suppose, with golden syrup and sugar. It's mostly sugar. It's pretty much all sugar. Right.
Okay, biscuits, yeah.
My laptop's making a funny noise.
Neat's made a good point. When did you screw with confidence?
Screw in with confidence.
That's the theme tune.
What?
Wings or something in it.
Wings?
What's the tune you just did?
Don't know. Just made it up. Why was it sounding like the tampon advert?
Yeah.
Right, not my
Never screw with anxiety.
bad. No. Never screw with anxiety. It's bad for your health. Never be anxious, people. Can you guys see what I'm actually doing here?
Ginger nuts.
Oh, I know what it is. It's that bloody air conditioner. It's making something rattle in here. Can you hear that?
The sticker's not the right way up, so fix it, or you won't be non-stop.
I can't, because my OCD will not allow me, because that sticker I won't be able to see, but the wire, I want both of the wires that come out of the fan to be the same length. So I need to have both of the fan wires coming out at approximately the same place. If I turn it around, they will not be in the same place, and basically the whole of the space-time continuum will disrupt itself when I go to bed at night. And I'll be like, oh, can't sleep, can't sleep, can't sleep. Got to turn the fans round.
Ooh. A friend of his made more flapjacks at work and mistook a jar of rice for coconut. He's been on the train, I think. Managed to scrape it out. Most of it was a bit crunchy in places.
Oh dear, that sounds bad. Sorry, just laughing at ClickTech Kev's thing.
Rice flapjacks.
Rice flapjacks, wow. Fred Young says, did you find your left-handed screwdriver? I wish I did have one. Actually, I don't really, because I am actually left-handed. But, because I'm doing this video at the moment, I'm having to take into consideration where you lot are actually being able to see it from. So I'm kind of doing it with the wrong hand.
Supernova Wolf says this is the first time he's joined a build PC stream and all he hears is you talk about flapjacks.
Yeah, this is, well, that is a good thing about live streams. You can basically do what you like. And I've kind of worked out in my head. It's only come to me in the last couple of hours, actually. Well,
I don't know, it's just going to be funny, isn't it?
it's not going to be funny.
Go on.
It's just, well, some people may interpret it as funny, but it's actually real. Is, if you think of it in a moment, this is kind of like, almost like the end of days scenario in some people's minds. So if this is the end of the world, and basically you could do whatever you like, what would you do? Would you care? Would you do, and it is, I can do what I like. I can do a live stream video and I can talk about flapjacks. What's going to happen? What's the worst thing that could happen? Apart from not having flapjacks when I really want them. Right, I have screwed with confidence, and those fans are firmly attached. And they actually aren't hitting anything, which is good.
Are you planning on going to LTX Linus Tech Expo this year?
No, I am not going to LTX. I would love to be invited to LTX. I probably still wouldn't go because we'd still probably be quarantined, but I would quite like to go. I think that'd be good fun. Although Kath would have to go around with like a I don't know, pillow slip over her head or something because she'd be shy. Just a little eyes cut out, looking around. Ooh, look, Linus. Ooh, look, bit wet. She wouldn't know who they were anyway.
I always know that man with sandals would be Linus.
I am actually considering starting to wear sandals because, again, it's the end of the world. Who cares? I don't have to wear Nikes anymore to look cool. I can just put sandals on.
What have you got on your feet now?
I've actually got Adidas on today, so
Don't even own any Nike.
don't judge me. Don't judge my footwear.
I thought you were going to start into MC Hammer then.
Right, so now this is another thing which really annoyed me, but is also kind of cool at the same time. The connections for these fans is a 4-pin PWM style. So you'd immediately look at it and think, oh, cool AF. You can use it in a fan header, but you can't. It's a custom PWM type connection, which only fits or works with the specific Rio Toro fan controller. Which again, isn't the end of the world because, well, yeah, it could be, but it's not. Matthew Day says sandals with socks. Yes. Skystalker says maybe next year if you're interested we can get you into LTX. That would be cool. I don't know what they'd quite make of me though, because Americans have got a kind of slightly different sense of humour.
Jack's started wearing.
That's magnetic! Oh, that makes life much, much easier. I need cable ties stat. Where did I even leave them? Oh, they were in the bin thing. My magnetic parts thing, which I'm deliberately not using much of. Right, I'm done with you. You go. I don't need you anymore. That's that done. Actually, that is very cool. So as you can see,
Nova Wolf said it's
magnetic.
the first time anyone has ever replied. Yeah, actually replied to it in a live stream.
Who said that?
Supernova Wolf.
Supernova Wolf, you deserve, as do most viewers and people watching streams, if you put something in the stream as a question or a comment and it's directly at someone, you should get an answer back. You should expect that. You should. I do try and answer pretty much everyone's questions where possible. Obviously, because I'm doing something like this, I'm not like scanning each individual question, so I can't always do it. But I'm doing what I can.
Have you found your tweezers yet?
Fred Young says, sandals with socks. Spain then? No. Did I find the tweezers? No, they're in the bottom of the cupboard. Should be a bag on top of the IKEA thing somewhere. I better put them away now.
Space, is there,
No.
to actually get in there?
Good old calf. Right, where am I going to mount that? I know. There.
Is it this
Done.
bag?
No, it should be 2 bags on top of the IKEA screwdriver set. I think. No.
No bags.
We've done one of those then. Oh, don't worry about it. I will screw with confidence and I will not need cable ties. We will forego the cable ties.
That bag.
Oh, that'll do.
Not many.
I did buy some new ones, but I don't know where I've put them. Sorry, me and Catherine just having our own little private conversation, but feel free to listen in. It's absolutely fine.
I like a little
Sticky pad,
holder.
tweezer holder. Right, let's go crazy with the cable ties. So that's going to run down the side over there. Oh, damn it. I've only gone and squeezed that in there. Right, I got to undo this. I knew this was going to happen.
Supernova Wolf has just subbed to you.
Supernova Wolf, thank you for subbing. Please feel free to donate your monthly salary into our PayPal. Just like Noob. Right, that's that cable in. So these fans have actually got a really, really super close tolerance. So I've had to, just in case you can't see what was going on there, which you probably can, one of the cables was just basically squished in between the two. So now I can run them down there and down into the control box, which I'm probably actually going to just hide down the bottom, I think. I don't think it needs much more than that. And I suppose at least that way, if I want to, I can just move it easily whenever I need to.
You have to buy the fan controller separate niche.
Fan controller actually comes with a setup, which is kind of nice actually, and it all is powered off a nice little SATA connector, so not much to worry about. Rio Toro actually do come up with some pretty decent solutions. They don't always work with everything else on the market, but their own individual little solutions, they've got some very handy products, let's say. And it's the one thing which really annoys me about Rio Toro, which I'm sure they won't mind me saying, is some of their best products they just don't have enough of. Like the Onyx power supply, the Enigma. The Enigma power supply is amazing. It's basically the same as the EVGA, was it the G3s and G4s, that kind of thing. So it's like a really high-end power supply, just rebranded, because it's the same company that makes all of them pretty much for other companies, and they just put their stickers on after agreeing a price and specs and all that kind of stuff. So that's why a lot of these power supplies all were made by probably about 4 or 5 big companies around the world, Japan, capacitors, all that kind of stuff. You get the general idea. But basically, yeah, a lot of them come from the same manufacturers, so they just distribute them out with different logos on, different, slightly different specifications, different cable sets, that kind of thing. But the Rio Toro ones, the Enigma for one, you just can't get them anywhere because they sold them off like really, really cheap considering how good a power supply they were, and then you couldn't get them again for love nor money. So I was recently looking for a power supply for another build I was doing, and I really wanted to get an Enigma power supply. Couldn't get one, love nor money. Looked for an Onyx 650, another one, not available. They just don't seem to have the amount of product in their inventory to keep up with demand, which is pretty sad. It's good for them because it means they must be selling them all, but you don't want to lose a sale on anything if you can possibly help it. Anyway, moving on. Right, so we've got the fans in at long last. Let's put the power supply in, and yeah, we can start rock and rolling. Like I said, power supply wise, we're going to be using the Rio Toro Onyx 650 watt, and this actually is semi-modular, so we can get rid of actually quite a lot of this cabling. So we'll get rid of that one, and we'll get rid of that one. So all we really need is our 6-pin PCI Express for the graphics card, and a SATA controller, or SATA connector even. Yeah, this actually turned out to be quite a nice little build actually. Considering I'm in quite cramped conditions. Good job as a little case. So again, we can put the power supply in either way really, up or down. There is a filter on the bottom, but I think really it's probably better if it just takes in a little cool air off there. I'm not entirely sure where this PC is going to end up going, to be honest with you, so I'm not entirely sure how much filtration it's going to need, if any. Let's spin that around a bit and we'll get some screws in the back. Again, we will be screwing with confidence. Sorry, bit wet if I've stolen your thing, your shtick. But you should be confident in what you're doing. Whenever you're doing anything in life, whether you're formatting a hard drive or building a PC or whatever it is you're doing, you should always do it with confidence. Because if you do it half-heartedly, chances are it's going to go wrong. And also, if you do it with confidence, people think that you know what you're doing. I learned that a long time ago. Pretend you know what you're doing, and people will probably let you do anything. Okay. Supernova Wolf says Mike is underrated. Subscribe to him if you agree. Hey, thank you very much. We've actually got almost 23,000 subscribers, which is actually quite phenomenal. Quite bizarre and very, when I kind of think about it, which I try not to, it is a little bit on the scary side, because you get to a point as a smaller channel, you kind of think, well, I can pretty much say what I want and do what I want, because it doesn't really matter if I say something stupid and it all blows up in my face. It's a few thousand subscribers or whatever, or 100 subscribers, 10 subscribers, whatever it may be. But as you start to get more subscribers, you actually get that kind of feeling in the back of your head where you actually do start kind of second guessing, not second guessing, but thinking about the things you're going to say and wondering about potentially what the kickback could be from it. It still doesn't bother me, I really don't care, but you do think about it, for sure. Okay, so hard drive. I think I'm going to put the hard drive on this side. I think that makes sense. I might as well do that now.
Noah asked, would you ever be down to do a stream raid?
Would I be down? If I knew what a stream raid was, I might know the answer. I don't know.
Young. Oh, sorry, go on.
Sorry, who was that question from?
Noah.
Noah, I don't know what a stream raid is. I've got to be honest with you. If it's a good thing, then I'm probably down for that. Am I going to get arrested? Probably not these days.
Unless you leave the house.
Yeah, unless I leave the house. Yeah, does it involve leaving the house? If it involves leaving the house, then I'm definitely out.
You're in. Fred Young, what was the first PC you built?
What was the first PC I built? Blimey. Well, Kath, you could probably answer that one.
486.
486.
Was it?
It was a 486. Well, technically it was a 386, but that was built for me and I rebuilt it after the fact. But the first PC was a 486 DX266, which was a absolute masterpiece of a PC, using a AT power supply before the ATX standard was even ratified, which basically meant that your power supply was a very strange beast indeed. With every power supply you bought, you actually had a new power switch included with it, which you then had to attach to the case, which probably seems quite alien these days. Sorry, I am screwing with confidence, or at least trying to.
No, Lowell, you send your viewers to another live stream when yours has finished.
Oh right, I send it to another live stream. Okay, so Kev, get a live stream queued up.
For about 6 hours.
Yeah, yeah. I should be done in about 6 hours, 7 hours tops. ClickTech Kev says, my first was the AMD K62 350 and loved it. Good times. Yeah, the K6s were good. Back in the early days, I was very much a bit of an Intel snob.
Fred's was an AMD 333 MGZ. A bit American.
Yeah, what language was that you were speaking in?
MGZ.
MGZ?
It wasn't easier to say than that.
Okay.
So when you're talking, yeah, you're an Intel snob.
Yes, I was. I was something of a. Oh, bullshit. Sorry, wrong cable. I thought that was a straight one, but it's not. That's a right-angled one. That's going to annoy me. that might not work. I'm gonna have to dig out some cables. Right, that is gonna be on the back burner for now. So, power supply is in. And I've routed through the cables. So we've got our main ATX power. Got our 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2, or 4 plus 4, 8-pin power connector for CPU. Wow, that was a long way around it. And also got a single SATA connector, which
SSD being used?
the SSD is a ARC 100 OCZ. It's quite an old drive now. It's one that I've actually had knocking around for actually quite a considerable time. I figured I should use it. Use it or lose it. Right, actually, I'm going to move that controller. Because the controller is magnetic, there's no reason why I can't stick it there.
The Walking Geek says the good old days of manually setting IRQs.
God. The manually setting of IRQs is something that a lot of modern PC builders have got no idea about, or that it even happened. So all computer parts have what they're called interrupts. So your computer, your processor, all the components on it, like your sound card, your hard drive, basically anything that connects to your CPU in some way, shape or form, has an interrupt signal. So when your system's trying to do stuff, the graphics card will be like, yo, 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 over here. And the CPU will be like, yeah, okay, what's going on? And then they'll transfer some data, then the mouse will go, whoa, hang on, over here. Then, etc. And this all goes on at like a millisecond, razor sharp kind of nanosecond thing. And in the older days when CPUs were a lot slower and IRQs or interrupts were a bit different, you'd have basically every single component in the computer all at the same time go into the CPU, whoa, over here, help, whoa, I need you. And the CPU would be like, I'm a single core, what the hell am I supposed to do? So you had to manually set your interrupts so they are all kind of in a queue. So you have IRQ 1 through to, I think, 13 or 11, I think it was, I can't remember now. I think there was it 13? Someone will have to let me know in the comments. But essentially that was what you had to do. You had to manually set your IRQ. So the higher the IRQ would be the more priority. So like a graphics card would be like IRQ 3 or something, a sound card maybe 5, modem 7, etc, etc. You get the idea.
What's the SSD? Did you answer that one?
Yeah, SSD, yeah, I did answer that, yeah, I think.
Noah's first was an AMD Math 2 2220.
A what? A math 2? I have to look at that.
Sorry, no, an AMD Athlon 2.
Oh, Athlon 2, got you. Sorry, yeah.
Corrected himself after.
ClickTech says, SCSI ISA card setup was a nightmare. Matthew Day says, IRQ 0 to 15, some reserved. Thank you, Matthew. I thought it was around about 13 or so. I'm trying to remember what the reserved ones were.
Matthew Days was a Cyrix P166L with CL5446 GPU.
I'm going to have to look at that because the way you said it, it didn't sound right. Okay. Right, we're ready to put the motherboard in now. You never know, this might actually work. Oh yeah. Just wondering where I put the motherboard for a minute. So the thing is with this, because the motherboard covers up the pokey through hole for the CPU additional power, best to poke that through now, just rather than trying to fish it through later. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I need to do before we do this. No, we should be good. So I can just drop the motherboard in. I've got the screws already. A top tip, if you're doing this when you're building a PC, always try the screws on the pillars first before you actually put the motherboard on. Because if you put the fine screw threads in to the thick thread, or you know, the wrong screw basically, it's really hard to get out without sometimes pulling the whole board out. So definitely do that.
MMB's got to go.
MMB Tech says, after Dash, as we have a poorly baby who I feel may be waking during the night. Love the stream tonight, buddy. All the best. Thanks, MMB Tech. Have a good night, stay safe, and keep on tubing. All of you, don't forget, right click on MMB Tech, view his channel, drop a like or a sub or whatever you feel like doing. Right. About half an hour ago, I had a motherboard, a processor and some RAM. And I had all those things laid out nice and ready to go into this build. I've not left the room, but somehow the motherboard, processor and RAM has. Either that, or I can't remember where I put it. It could be one of those two things. Oh, there it is. I knew it'd be here somewhere. So, gently insert the motherboard, he says, dropping it in violently. And yes, that looks not too bad. Like I said before, I was a little concerned that that cable along the top was going to be encroaching slightly, but it looks all good. Happy days. Good stuff. Matthew Day has given us all the information there. Skystalker is talking about when there used to be jumpers. Oh yeah, jumpers on motherboards was never a fun thing. And it used to always, well, not make me laugh, but it was always seemed weird that computers, really old computers, used to have a turbo button. And if you wanted to, in theory, speed up the PC, you could press a turbo button on the front and a little light would come on and your PC would magically transform itself from maybe a 33 Hertz machine to a 66 Hertz machine. But actually that wasn't the case. The turbo button was actually designed for older software, older Windows software or DOS-based software. It was actually designed to make the computer slow down. So you press the turbo button and the turbo light would come on, but you'd actually be slowing down the machine. Go figure.
You wired it wrong?
Yeah, I probably wired it wrong. Yeah, it was horrendous. I don't know, the things that we used to have to do is not great. Oh, why is that not fit in?
Supernova Wolf said there was a turbo on everything. Is a PS3 custom controller with a turbo button.
Yeah, turbo buttons were actually everywhere, weren't they? Mostly on serial devices though. Okay, what's not lined up here? Yeah, we're looking good, I think.
Angie wants to know how long you'll be.
Why, what's she want?
Go out.
I'm tired to go out. That's better. Now this is going to be super, super tight in this top corner, which is not great. So yeah, I would say if you wanted to put fans in this top section, there's no reason why you shouldn't. I don't think I would, purely because of the clearance on it.
Did you ever have a Spectrum or a Commodore?
Spectrum and a Commodore. I had an RX 64, Spectrum 48K, 128K, 128K plus 2. Didn't have the plus 3 model because I wasn't a baller. But yeah, we had most of the computers. The RX was a weird one. We had things like the BBC Electron, well, Acorn Electron, which basically used BBC language, if that's the right word. Ooh, that is gonna be tight. I'm gonna check the clearance on this side panel, because I don't know if you can see that very well from the from your side, but from my side it looks like it's gonna be very, very squeaky bum time.
Did you ever try something in Chinese brand Sammer?
I don't think so. Bloody hell, that is close. Is that touching? don't think it is.
Jack's Teller, are you any good at CSGO, Mike?
Am I any good at CSGO? No. Despite the fact I've been playing it for the best part of 20 years, no. I'm still rubbish at it. It was about 20 years, 1999 I think it started. No, I am pretty pitiful at it, to be fair.
My letter had a Commodore VIC-20 back in the day.
I had a VIC-20. VIC-20 was awesome.
ClickTech had a Commodore 16, 64, Amiga 500, Pentium 150, and then started building.
It's amazing all the old computers that used to be about, which you don't really hear so much of these days.
Blitz, great game, VIC-20.
Blitz, oh yeah, Blitz. I think Rockman was one I loved. I used to love playing Rockman and Bar Shoot, I think it was called.
Adam's in the house.
Power switch, power switch, power switch. This always confused me. Who's in the house? Adam?
Yeah.
Hello, Adam. How are you? Still alive, well done. Power switch. Where the hell's power switch? It's there. Ground power. Oh, that thing looked like going on there.
What CPU are you using? Kyle Taylor wants to know.
What CPU am I using? Asked Kyle Taylor. I'm using the Ryzen 7 1700X, which is a pretty stellar power, CPU, and even gives the modern 3000 series a pretty decent run for its money. You can quite easily put the R5 3600 up against the 1700X, and in quite a lot of titles, the 1700X will actually come out on top.
Sorry, Pierre had already answered.
Oh, sorry. Thank you, Pierre. God bless you. God bless you, Mary Poppins.
He says he still has a NEXT step turbo. Or is it NXT is a auto text problem there.
I'm not too sure.
And a Spark 20.
A Spark. That is old. Come on, get on there, you little bastard. Am I allowed to say bastard?
Yeah, that's
Oh, okay.
after the watershed, isn't it?
It's the end of the road, I can say what I like. Woo! Skystalker says, in 1978 I had a Radio Shack Tandy TRS-80 level 1. I think we had a TRS-80, didn't we? At some point in the early 80s.
Noah's got to go with his sisters in labour.
Whoa! Who's that?
Noah.
Noah's got to go because his sister's in labour. What the hell? Well, good luck with that. Hopefully you don't have to get too involved. Messy business. It's bad enough being there for my own kids, let alone someone else's. Shit.
Supernova's only for 13.
Oh, sorry, Supernova, if you're only 13, I do apologise. I should have put the prefix on the things now for the age restriction in the game. I keep on forgetting to do that. So those of you that are with us and have been with us a long time, you'll know that occasionally we do use the odd piece of bad language because we are uncouth. But we're still pretty good guys, really. It's Kath does it. She makes me swear all the time. She tells me I have to, so we don't get monetized for certain videos. It's all her fault. Now, immediately now we've run into a problem, which you lot cannot see, but I can. the USB cables and the connections on the bottom, because it runs right up against the power supply, it actually looks like crap.
Oh, NEXT was the company Steve Jobs created when he left Apple.
Oh, of course, yeah.
When you know.
Yeah. What a great film that was, and what a great man Steve Jobs was. Let's have a F in the chat for Steve Jobs. Yeah, Cash put an F in Wagyu. You saved the day. Supernova Wolf at Pierre says you got every secondary school filled with people thinking they're cool by swearing 400 times a day. Yeah, we try and minimise the cursing, don't we, Kath?
Trying to.
Sometimes it's not always possible. Yeah, this week has been one of those testing weeks where it's actually been very difficult not to swear at times, especially when watching the bulletins on the news.
And the kids keep saying, why
You're
are you
like,
swearing?
holy shit. But hopefully everyone's not doing too badly out there.
Jack's liking the good view of your head.
Good view of my head. That was very much a thumbnail pose then, wasn't it? That is something that we do actually do as a YouTuber. You do have to do thumbnail poses. It's almost like you're working for like a K's or Littlewoods catalogue. For those of you that are old enough to know that, you'll understand what it is.
How would you know when you only looked at the underwear section?
Yeah, that's what the girls in the underwear sections always look like anyway.
They didn't.
No, they always like. Aletta will be the one to ask about that. Or Kev. This has turned out to be very messy in here. I am struggling to keep this one looking tidy, but it's got quite a dark tinted mirror to it, so it's all good. Oh, it's a shame I can't get that to go around there. Yeah, I've made a right pig's ear of that. Actually, let's take it around there. That won't be so bad. Cable management, or inverted commas, tuck wires anywhere. Yeah, that seems to work. Tuck wires anywhere. Okay, spin this thing around so you ladies and gentle people can see what is going on. There we go. So, nice big chunky cooler, and that is seriously like, it's about that much far away. That is terrible English. I do apologise. It is about 3 or 4 mil from the top of these spring clips to the actual glass. Excuse me. But other than that, I don't think we're actually in too bad a shape. This bottom section sucks major balls. I do apologise. There's nothing I can do about it. The power supply is well too close to the back to be able to tuck the wires in. So it is what it is. Obviously, with a different motherboard, things could have worked out better. What have I got to colour in?
The power supply.
Colour in the power supply? Do you know what? I did actually think about taking the wires off it and the cables off it before. And then I thought to myself, no, I'm going to leave it on there. Because there's so much wrong with the rest of the stuff going on in this build at the moment that it's going to make very little difference. There's going to be a little bit of RGB lighting on there, so depending which colour cycle it's on, it's going to match in with something in there, surely. Anyway. What is going on? Oh, they're talking about Aletta's Twitter. Yeah, Aletta's Twitter is hilarious.
In a nice way.
When she's not banned, you should definitely follow her. She does have a tendency for saying things slightly outrageous, which is, she's a writer, so you kind of would expect that.
Way of words, brilliant.
She has got a way of words for sure. Pierre Plays YouTube says, let there be light. There is light right now. Thank you very much for your donation of £2 to the Mike's Unboxing Super Chat Fund, which will hopefully go towards paying for your t-shirt when you do the thing. Kath, I'm really worried because this cable is rubbish. I need a straight one. That's not going to fit. I've scuppered myself already. I give up. Thank you very much. Right, I need a SATA cable. Where on earth am I going to find a SATA cable this time of night?
In the work, state the roads in.
Yeah. Ooh. It's a good job. I've got another Asus Prime X370 Pro motherboard lying around. First world problems. Oh, balls, it's empty. Well, board's in there, but there's no SATA cables. Scheisse. Okay, where can I steal one from? Where have I got one? I cannot physically put that in there. That is going to annoy me. Surely I've got another motherboard somewhere. No, I haven't. They're all built, aren't they? Damn it! I'm gonna have to get Kath to do it. Kath?
Yeah.
Hello. Can you get my PC case out from the bottom? Sorry. Of all the things I wanted, all I want is a SATA cable with two straight ends. All I ever wanted. Bass Hunter. Great music. We like that. Although Bass Hunter is great because you don't actually need to know any of the lyrics because all the songs are exactly the same but with slightly different lyrics. So, dee 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 dee. That goes with all their songs, so it's great.
And you went to see him.
Must make their life easy when they're actually rehearsing.
Is it they or just him?
Well, it's technically they, isn't it? Can I have a black SATA cable, please?
What round?
Can I have a black one? That looks like the chappy. Is that going to be... Yes! Hallelujah! Now, that is a Serial 88. Yeah, that looks like it's a
Is that right one?
SATA 3. Yeah, well done. Everybody, Kath has saved the day.
Oh, I found the glue sticks.
And found our glue sticks, which we'll be sniffing later. We won't. Don't do it, kids. Glue sniffing's bad for you. Get yourself into all sorts of sticky situations.
So that non-stick glue.
Oh dear. Okay, so the cable's way too long, so that's upsetting. Why is nothing going right tonight? Oh, let's just plug it in there, that's fine. That works, it's not going anywhere. No one's going to see it. I'll put it in a cupboard somewhere. It's all good. I am concerned about these cables. Oh, we've got another cable here. Where's that from? What is that? That's the reset switch. Damn it.
Do you need your glasses?
I probably do need my glasses. It's been a long day. I got up at midday, I think.
Got on the
But, and then
went on the settee.
then got on the settee because just...
The clock's go
Why?
back an hour tonight, so we get an extra hour.
Oh yeah, we get an extra hour in bed tomorrow to do absolutely nothing.
But then we should set our alarms. We don't want to be late getting up, going to the living room.
Yeah. Don't be late getting into the living room tomorrow, people. Out of the people that are watching currently, how many of you are actually kind of in lockdown at the moment, being like forced to stay home in some way, shape or form? I'd imagine, judging by the numbers viewing, is pretty high. Because we're breaking all kinds of records tonight.
Oh, we lose an hour. It's an hour less.
We lose an hour?
Oh yeah,
What?
because it goes forward, doesn't it?
We lose an hour?
Yeah, that's the better one because it's lighter.
Yeah, but someone said you get an extra hour to do nothing. I want that hour now. I've been promised it. That sucks.
Adam.
So, Fred Young, yeah, lockdown. Kath Churchill, yes, Yate is fear. You asked the wrong question.
No, Pierre asked, do you and Mike know Yate?
Oh, yeah, yeah, we knew Yate. Yate, as it's frequently known. Very posh area.
Has siblings there.
Siblings? Who has siblings?
Pierre
Pierre.
in Yate.
Yate is very posh. That's where the posh folk live.
Fred Young is in lockdown.
Fre-
Aletta is always at home.
Aletta's always at home. Who else? Fred's in lockdown. What else is going on? Jax Teller, me since I said I'll be on the Discord that time on a video, still ill.
Pierre says Yate is not posh.
Yeet is not posh, no. We're trying to be kind. Super Wolf Nova says, Mike, this is a pretty random question. I'm good at answering those. But I've been thinking about it for a long time, but can't make up my mind. Oh, I'm getting worried. How much do I charge for building a PC? I'm thinking of charging £100, but I don't know. Right, there is a simple rule of thumb for building a PC. Now this works very, very well, and you'll find a lot of PC builders and, well, generally it just works out well. 10%. So if you're building a PC worth £1,000, you can charge up to £100. Ideally, £50 is kind of like your, well, £30 to £50 is the sweet spot, in my opinion. I've always been told that I undercharge for the work I do, which may or may not be right. Don't know, don't care, to be completely honest with you. But I would say if you're building a PC for someone, regardless of how long it takes or how much effort you put into it, realistically, around about the £30 to £50 mark, for me, is about where I'd be looking. But then generally, I do build PCs for people around that price point, the budget stuff. So maybe if you're doing like a custom water loop and all that kind of stuff, then you could bump up your charge a little bit more. Depends entirely what you're doing and how involved it is and what other value added features you're doing. So if you're setting up certain things like a backup solution or other things like that, streaming setup, cameras, blah, 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 you get the idea. The more you're doing, the more you should charge effectively. If you can, that is.
Pierre's sister moved to the outskirts of the Cotswolds, chipping stuff. That's posh.
Sodding Chipbury, that is quite posh.
Reminds me of Thingy Stevens.
Richie.
Which one good?
Oh.
That's in the footholes of the...
He did.
The foxholes of the Cotswolds.
The Right, I've got to try and put this cable through now. This case is horrendous for cable management. I'm just going to put that out there.
Supernova's also doing Windows and driver installation.
So if you're doing Windows and drivers installation, are you supplying the Windows license and key and all that kind of stuff, or are you just going to do it unactivated?
Fred Young, he's posh from Oxford.
Oh, Oxford, then that is posh. That's proper posh.
Baby use safe because his RX 580 will kill COVID-19 because of the high temps.
Sorry, I was just laughing at Baby U's comment. That's good. That is good.
Pierre Blaze back is super posh.
Ooh, that is not good. Okay, so one of the first stumbling blocks of this build is the hard drive. So potentially this is more down towards my power supply than it is actually the case itself. But the power supply, the actual, because the drive is there, I cannot seem to get the actual power connector into the drive without it kind of wanting to flex. And this is quite a common thing on a lot of cases. So it's not a unique problem, but it is a problem. And we don't like problems, we like solutions. So I might have to take that drive out of there and put it inside the case, which I didn't want to do. And I think these, even if I bend those round on quite an angle, I don't think, it's not good, it's not good. So, in order to remedy that, we're going to take the drive off of there and we're going to go internal. And actually, I've just noticed another potential problem you could have with this case is where the two fans are on the front. Yeah, it changes. Kev, you're a dick. I love you, but you're a dick. I love... Right, let's try that again. So I'm going to put the drive now into this bottom drive caddy just for simplicity and because I'm actually starting to get a headache from this case now. That is always a problem with these lower priced offerings. There are always kind of slight sacrifices that will need to be made one way or the other. And is that going to fit on the bottom? This whole, it's not a particularly well designed case, if I'm completely honest, which I hate to say, because Rio Toro, they're trying, they really are trying, but they do seem to manage to make things harder in some cases, no pun intended. So yeah, none of these lines match up on the bottom, so this is going to be very very unusual. What a daft setup. Now, Marcel or any of the other guys from Rio Toro, if you're watching this, well, I'm decimating your case. I do apologise.
Jack says, I'm not going to lie, the thumbnail for this live stream looks like your finger shooting your GFX card. GFX card.
I'm shooting it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not sure what I was doing in that thumbnail. Kath was making me laugh. And then she's like, what are you doing? I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. You didn't expect me to be able to do all this stuff and know what I'm doing, do you? I'm just winging it all. Oh, for crap's sake. Oh, man.
What have you done now?
This stupid case needs a bloody Molex adapter, doesn't it? Oh, damn you. So that means there's another cable I got to plug into this damn build.
Let him hear the thunderstorm approaching.
Yeah, it's called Rio Toro. Damn you. Luckily it is modular, so we can just stick another cable in. Not ideal.
Molex, bad word.
Yeah, Molex is a bad word. And I'll be having many, many bad words with the people from Rio Toro after this. This is why I should be drinking. If I was drinking, I could tolerate a lot of this, if not all of it.
Jack's telling us that before you smash, I will buy it.
Yeah, if anybody wants to buy a cheap PC after this, shoot me an email, mike@mikesunboxing.com. If I don't reply, it's because I'm dead. Right, where is the rest of the power connections? Oh, there. Hang on, where did they go? I've already wired them through. I've done such a good job on cable management, I can't even find the cables. That's style right there. If this had a basement, this would be a little bit easier. Because you could just stuff everything under there and go, la la la, can't see it, it's all fine. How's everyone doing? You all keeping up? Am I entertaining you for the evening? Am I earning my keep? Right, what did I need that for? Oh yeah, that bloody front panel. Right. Front panel, time now. Okay. So we have got on this front panel, we've got that little crazy cable, which I now know actually what it's used for. And we've got the Molex. Why on earth, in this day and age of modern technology, would you put a Molex on a bloody thing? Stupid. Right, let's chuck that down through there. Let's not get bogged down by where to hide it, because it's getting late.
Skystalker says, this is great, Mike, a good have a clean distraction. Jack's Teller said, indeed, I've forgotten I'm dying for the past hour.
It's good, isn't it? I've forgotten as well.
And a letter says, it's cases like this why I'm so glad I broke a can buying Link athlete cases and thermal tape level 20 HTs.
I'm still actually, Aletta, I did speak, or I have emailed, messaged, one of those things, my contact at Thermal Take. What was it they wanted to send me, Kath? Oh, RAM, Tough RAM. They're sending me some Tough RAM to review. The Tough RAM White RGB. So that'll be coming soon. But yeah, I have mentioned about the case as well. I said, Aletta's been nagging at me to get one of these cases, so please can you send me one to prevent her from nagging me any more than is absolutely necessary. So hopefully we'll be seeing that very shortly. And I've just realised already another thing. The top punch out is missing. They didn't provide a replacement. And I've got to take out the ones below it to put the graphics card in. Which really you should always take out when you start. Which I did mean to do earlier, but unfortunately I was distracted by literally tens of people watching the stream. There we go. Job done. Wait, who disliked the video?
That's probably the one we blocked.
Oh yeah.
Because he kept asking where he lived.
Somebody was blocked and they probably disliked it. Well, screw you.
But thanks for the view.
But thanks for the view. And hopefully the view time is all going towards my YouTube salary. So thank you for that. Well, it's not really a salary, is it? Anyway, moving on. Time for the tiny little powerhouse that is the GeForce GTX Zotac 1650 Super. How small and cute is that? It is so cute. Actually, is it the same size or almost the same size as my portable drive? Yes, it is. How small is that? I'm still surprised it actually needs a 6-pin connector for power. I don't even know why. It's not looking too bad in there, so let's change the camera so you chaps and chapesses can see what was going on. And hopefully that's switched, does it? It switched, yay, there we go. So there, it's not looking too bad. There's a few mismatches of colour, but if I cover the camera with my hand, then you can't see it, so it's all good. Perfect build, absolutely spotless, no problems whatsoever.
Skystalker says you should have a spare blank lying around. Because he knows he does.
Yeah, I actually have got a spare blank in that box there somewhere. Maybe I'll get Kath on her hands and knees to dig it out in a minute. She does enjoy doing that. Right, let's put the graphics card in. There we go, that's snapped in with relative ease. Now, do I have a suitable thing screw? Actually, am I even going to be able to get to that screw?
That looks like what people in Asda think is 6 foot.
Who said that?
Kev.
Kev, you are funny. You are naughty, Kev, but I like you.
You're crazy.
You're crazy, dude.
Where are they just loose in here?
Lucy, Lucy, yeah.
Just find it blank.
So there we go. We are in. We're almost there, aren't we? We're not a million miles off now. I may even be able to get this thing to post. Who'd have thought it? In one live stream. Whoopie-doo. Okie dokie. So I'm just preparing the cable because there's a lot of extra shenanigans going on here which we don't necessarily need. So I'm just going to cable tie the bejesus out of that. Ah, bejesus, potato. Am I allowed to do accents? Is that politically correct? Because if you do Indian accents, they get really upset with you, like that guy who did Abu on The Simpsons. Who knows?
I've got a white one.
That's even worse. A white blanking plate on there is going to be worse than actually not having one, I think.
You've got a Sharpie?
A Sharpie? Yeah, that might do actually.
Actually. It's not.
Perfect. Thank you. Kath has found a blanking plate. We're all good.
Find my blanks.
Blankety blank, blankety blank, blankety blank. It's plastic blanking plate. That must be out of a GameMax case, I would imagine. They often did those.
Wonky GPU.
Wonky? Who's wonky? Ain't wonky? How are you talking about? Crazy fool?
Maybe it's the angle. Is that a bit wonky on there?
Camera's wonky. I think. Is that better? That low? That's about right.
Yeah, I can't stand GPUs without a backplate. They just look so ugly.
There you go. How's that? Better? I know what you mean.
Aletta agrees. You must have backplates, hopefully metal ones that help remove heat.
The thing is, a lot of backplates actually don't remove heat at all because they're not actually in physical contact. There's normally a spacer between them, so they're there purely for cosmetic reasons. And actually, having the case open or having nothing on it at all will actually reduce the temperature more than what it would with a proper metal plate on there. But I do entirely get what you mean. Let's tuck that down there. And I think pretty much, I should check that top connection, make sure that's there. Make sure all that's connected. Yeah, I think we're pretty much done. So let's put the back on, which is always slightly traumatic.
Got these spin things on the case on it.
The what?
There's like a lump.
Oh. Thank you. Sorry, just have a look at some of the comments. Okay, so this is going to be the moment of truth. Now, this back panel is not really the greatest for putting all this kind of stuff in, so let's just see what happens if I just gently put it into place. Doesn't need much forcing. No, actually that was relatively painless. I'm happy with that. So the only thing left to do now really is to power it on and make sure it actually works. Not going to go through the whole process of setting up Windows, although I suppose technically I could if you guys wanted to, but it's up to Kath because she got to get her beauty sleep and Lord knows I need mine.
Well, you could say no, no, she needs it.
I caught you out there, didn't I?
You got yourself out of that.
I did do well.
Yeah, I'm okay.
So, yeah, so do you guys want to see it fired up? Fired up? Tired of silly now. But what we'll have to do is to turn off a la PC in the background and connect it up there, so. What?
Rewatching you.
Oh, slapping myself? It happens. Jax Teller says, Kath's done her squats for tonight. Alexa says, fire it up. Pierre plays Whitey. I'm down, okay. Skystalker says, Mike, you violated the code. You do not put the case. You do not put the case sides on until it posts. Fred Young says, get on with it. This is my bedtime story, lol. All right. Okay, we'll clear up some of this crap in a minute, so bear with me. I'm gonna have to turn off the PC behind and yeah, do the thing. Jax Teller says, ha 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 ha.
Saggy jeans.
I have got saggy ass jeans on right now. That's better.
Do some twerking.
I can't do twerking. Right, shut down. Oh no, I've got to move all this crap now.
Once upon a time, Mike's unboxing.
Yeah. Once upon a time, there was a strange man called Mike who lived in the town of Unboxing. He was a rather plump fellow.
With baggy ass jeans.
With baggy ass jeans, yeah. Oh dear. Tired and stupid. Right, let's get rid of that headset out the way.
There was a young man called Fred who witnessed a bull and work.
Oh God, don't buy the Thermaltake S300 TG because it's bloody heavy
Scaring me.
and scares cat. Oh, bloody hell. Right, this is what, oh shit, I broke something. Okay, don't panic, it's all right. Oh, there's some bloody thermal paste on there.
So you know when I like turkey.
Yeah. No. Oh, twerking. Christ. Right, Kath, you got that fire extinguisher handy? Not for the PC, I just got a terrible case of athlete's foot.
Bang!
Right, so, what else have we got? Ethernet cable, which I need to make a new one, because it's a bit broken.
Have you got thermal paste on the case?
I've got thermal paste on the bloody filter on the top. Right, I need to do it on a different camera, don't I? Let's see if I can get that one to do it. So, number 4. Don't know if the good viewers will be able to see all the things. Did that work? Man, there's such a delay on there. Yours is newer. So actually, if I get a stand out of the way, can you see the screen as well? Is that asking a bit much? Yes, you can see the screen. Sorry about that. There is a severe delay. So yeah.
Why don't you scoop up some of that crap?
Oh, it was on anyway.
Got lights on it now. Where's your microphone?
Is it going to post? I don't think it is. Oh, come on. Yay! There we go.
Click tech. Skystalker sees RGB. Click tech sees your moves.
Don't be looking at the titties. There we go. Oh, oh, balls. Oh, I know. Holy shit! Skystalker has given us another 30 Canadian pesos. Blessings to you and your family, sir. And look, it worked. Although it sounds like an absolute horror for some reason. Oh, it's not the fan speed. Oh, I pressed the wrong button. Where's the fan controller? When you need it. Ah, there we go. Slow speed. Slowing. Oh, I get it. I know why it's making a noise. It's because I'm in the BIOS, isn't it? So, I'll press F1. Is that still visible? Just about? Yeah. So there we go. Prime X370 Pro, BIOS version 52220, which I think is actually the latest BIOS. I'm not entirely sure. I might need to check that. So currently the processor is 39 degrees C. which actually being in the BIOS isn't too bad at all, to be honest with you.
CPU temps.
CPU temp, sorry, let's go to DOCP and also advanced mode, AI tweaker, DDR, yeah, custom core disabled, blah blah blah, etc. Yeah, that's okay.
39C is good for BIOS.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, isn't it? Especially for a X-rated processor. At the moment, the memory frequency is only 2666666.2 because we haven't set the DOCP for the RAM. So we might as well do that. What else is there? Advanced. CPU configuration, pretty much leave that all as auto. SMV, you suppose should be really disabled, but doesn't make a great deal of difference for virtualization unless you're doing some kind of virtual machine stuff, which you may or may not do. And boot priority, actually that'd be a good idea to see if it actually did recognize a drive. Yeah, SATA 6, so that's connected. Happy days. And the boot drive priorities should be only one because there's only one drive, so yeah, we're all good. So save changes and reset.
What does BIOS stand for?
Basic input output system. Who asked that?
Jack.
Oh, Jax. Okay.
Sorry. Have you got a USB of PC tools we can buy?
No, I don't. Not yet. I might make one, but then again I might not. So CPU temperature, we've gone up a little bit now, 40, 41. It is going to be slightly lower to begin with anyway. Motherboard temperature has gone up a degree as well, which is understandable because it's generating a little bit more heat now. And RAM speed wise, we're now showing DDR4 3200 megahertz, which is what it should be. So yeah, that is pretty much it. So we could go ahead and install Windows on this now, which if I put the camera down, I'll grab my USB stick and I'll just let it install Windows quickly. Talk to Kath, there she is.
Don't!
Oh dear, she's gonna hate me for that. Oh crap.
Karma.
Yeah, it is karma, instant karma.
Sire?
You're right, you're having a stroke.
French person.
Oh right, okay. Actually, this would be a good test to see if my USB ports actually work. Save and exit, save and exit. Okay, so there we go. So it posted, it worked, it's okay. Gonna install Windows on it now. Hopefully it'll go through and do it all pretty quickly. I can't envisage any real problems. And hopefully it should be quite a nice little PC, especially for the video editing. I'm not sure about the fans though. I'm trying to work out which ones are making the noise.
You can speak fluent French. Go on your comments a minute.
Right, it's the fans at the front which are making all the noise, so I might have to destroy those. Oh, Kath says I've got to go to the comments and
You can't do it on that computer.
do something. No, I can't now. But I've got a bit of room now. I can actually see what's going on. Hi, everybody. Siri.
Is that how you say it?
Yeah, I guess so. So, what was the question?
GTX 650.
Oh, have I got to scroll back up?
It's just below Pierre Play says, my name is Jeff.
My name's Jeff. GTX 1650 says pas top mene se passe.
You know all French.
That means, hang on, it's, no, I have to look it up. Where's translate?
Right, in the meantime, is it worth it to save money on motherboards through Amazon Warehouse if I got used good or lower?
Yeah, actually Amazon Warehouse, I've bought quite a few boards from Amazon Warehouse and I've found them all to be absolutely fine. Generally, you find it's probably actually people like me who've got YouTube channels where they've bought something, reviewed it and then sent it back within the 30 days, which is a little bit on the naughty side, but it happens. Oh, why can't I paste? I'm still not sure what was said. Who's that? Cinepaz, copy.
Hello. Careful, he puts the camera on you unexpectedly.
Copy.
Did he do that to you?
Control V.
My friend Ria came on.
Right. Siri, if they haven't said it already, it says it's not great, but it works. I couldn't agree more, really. It isn't great, the 1650. 1650 Super is a little bit better, as most people have seen from like reviews and benchmarks and stuff. So it's not a turd.
Supernova's going now.
Oh, hang on. Next. I don't have a product key. Not yet. Next. Accept. Custom. Next. This is how to install Windows. It's very simple. You just click next on basically everything. Okay, so Jack says, there's me thinking this fecker wouldn't know it. Smart arse. I'm not smart arse, just I'm old. I've been around a long time, so you hear these things. Siri is French. Welcome. Now, actually, being that you're in France, how is the situation over there? What is the... We only get to hear, obviously, what we see on the mainstream media. Hopefully everything's okay over there, and hopefully wherever you are, you're safe and sound and all that kind of stuff. Where are we? Pierre Plays YouTube says, the lowest I would go is a 1660 Super. Do you know what? That is a very valid point. But what you've got to remember is there's a lot of people out there that are on seriously restricted budgets, especially now with like this economic climate where people are losing their jobs left, right and centre. So the difference between being able to actually get online and do stuff and make videos, and the difference between that and a 1660 Super, which is quite a big jump for some people, can be like 50, 60, 70 pounds. The difference between the two, getting up and running, might be the difference between them getting paid or not getting paid if they've got to edit work or whatever. You get what I mean. Supernova Wolf says, good night, I think. I must have missed that.
Yeah, he's got to go. Now he's posted.
Bless you.
You're going to say it again, aren't you?
What's that?
My name's...
No, I'm not. Where I didn't say it. Wait, someone said that?
Yeah, earlier.
All right. Sorry, just reading through the comments here to see what people are saying. Skystalker says 1650 is a great 60 frames per second, 1080 card. Just may not last the test of time. That is the trouble as well with NVIDIA cards. They generally don't get better with age. They tend to kind of trail off, whereas the AMD cards tend to get better. We don't know if that's going to be the same for this current generation, because everything's a little bit weird. Pierre says, I always get nervous when an actual French person enters a chat because of my character, lol. Yeah, I can understand that.
Adrian, Spanish.
Adrian Ventura says, hola. Buenos dias, España. So that means hello from Spain, I think. Aletta says, the 5700 XT is too slow for me, but it's the fastest thing AMD has right now. Come on, big Navi. Yeah, hopefully we'll see some new stuff come out from AMD, although this whole human malware virus thing is going to probably slow down a lot of that stuff from happening or from hitting production, so it's going to be a very, very weird time. Hi Adrian, hopefully you're having a good time. Actually, Adrian's in Spain. How are things over in Spain? It looks pretty scary stuff over there, mate. Or friend, pal, etc. Adrian should be a guy, you'd thought. Maybe, although the woman in Rocky was Adrian, so shit. I'm getting myself into a whole world of trouble right now. regardless of your gender, sex, or whatever, hopefully you're okay. Pierre Plays YouTube says, I won't go AMD for GPU as NVIDIA's CUDA cores work much better with Adobe. Hence what is going on in the background. Pierre Plays YouTube, Spain's having a bad time. Yeah, it really is. It's not good. It's not good anywhere in the world right now, really, but Spain, I think, especially in Italy, and obviously America. America's like getting worse on a kind of hourly basis. So I think
we just haven't tested.
we seem to be not far behind as the trails are going. So who knows? But we're staying home. We're not doing anything. We're isolating. We're not going out. We're not shopping. We're not basically doing much of anything, to be completely fair. So yes, there we go. So Laser beam. What's a cheap gaming PC that you think I could buy as a kid? How old are you and how much money do you have available? And what games do you play? Aletta is getting her system ripped apart tomorrow and putting her Ghetto 150 quid water cooling loop on there. Can't wait to see if it cools as good as the expensive one. The chances are it probably will, but how long is it going to last for? Cheaper components generally do work pretty much exactly the same as a stock cooler for, not a stock cooler, but like you know what I mean, the equivalent product of a better brand. Initially it will work as well as normally, it's just they don't always stand the test of time. Laserbeam is about to be 12 on April the 2nd. Oh, a 12-year-old, that is so cool. Thank you for joining us on this live stream. Now, do be warned, sometimes there is language and references that may not be appropriate, but hopefully you're a moderately mature 12-year-old, being what time of night it is and the fact that you're on this stream. So, again, depending where you are, but obviously, yeah. We will try and watch our P's and Q's for our younger viewers. But yeah, depending on what sort of money you've got. Ideally, actually, I've got a AMD Ryzen 3 3200G, which I've got to do a review on, which I'm going to be sticking into what was my budget PC for the media center in the front room, which you can check out from the links possibly in the description below or wherever on the channel. But that was like an A320 based chipset, cheap and cheerful, cost me about 120, 150 pounds. So that really could quite easily be a gaming PC with a Ryzen 3 3200G. Sorry, Kath is signaling, do I want a cup of tea? Yes, I do. Laserbeam says no problem, I'm used to it. Good, good. Jack Seller says I've got a £1,200 PC with a stock CPU fan and stock fans on the outside. Happy days. Pierre Plays says, we'll pretend Laserbeam is 16 if their mum isn't around. That's a good idea. Skystalker says, I've built a 3200G, it's a very good chip. Hopefully it will be. Nice one, Jax. I'm not going to say that out loud. Pierre says, calf milk, no sugar please. Cheers, love. That is Calf's pet hate, being called love. She doesn't like that. You're on for a cup of tea there with milk and no sugar, but you blew it with the cheers love on the end. Damn. So close. Laserbeam says, I'll ask my mum for a cheap CyberPower PC. Good idea. Or build your own, which with some of the help and advice you can probably get on decent YouTube channels, you'll be able to do that.
And Discord.
Don't follow my advice because I'm rubbish. Yeah. ClickTech Kev says he'll be around for a cuppa after lockdown. Right, I think that pretty much is going to wrap up this stream. It's been almost 3 hours, so most of you probably need a potty break or some kind of break for food and things like that. So, Skystalkers, don't listen to Mike, he's not rubbish, just misunderstood. Yeah, I've had that a lot. So, that's going to wrap things up. Thank you all so much for sticking around tonight. I guess some of you are in lockdown, so you didn't have much else to do anyway. But thank you anyway. It does mean a lot to me, Kath, and the rest of the Mike's Unboxing family. Yeah, where things go from here, we do not know. We will try and do a live stream again next Saturday. Fingers crossed, all being well, as long as we're all fit and healthy and we've got an audience willing to watch, then we will certainly do that. We'll try and put out as many videos as we can over the week, but obviously we do appreciate that you may not want to have your inboxes bombarded with Mike's Unboxing videos for the time being, because obviously there's bigger fish to fry at the moment. But if you don't mind watching, then we'll keep making them, and hopefully you'll keep on enjoying them. Yeah, thank you all very much for, if you've subbed tonight and you've just joined us, thank you all for joining us. And if this is the end of the night and you're all about to go off and do your own thing, please do hit the like button. It does help with the YouTube algorithm, as it does on all our videos if you watch them. And if you're really, really bored and you want to help out the channel, go through some of the back catalogue and go back to some of the really early videos. They are so cringeworthy that they're actually funny for all the wrong reasons. So if you want to entertain yourself and block out all the other stuff that's going on in the world at the moment, just hit one of the playlists and watch a few hours and waste some time. But don't forget to stick some likes on and some comments and all that kind of stuff, because it all helps out. Thanks so much to those of you that have super chatted us tonight. Skystalker and Noob have had their little war. You can check it out there, and if you want to make a donation, you can do. If you want to make a donation, you can do regardless on Patreon. You don't have to be a member of any particular tier. You can just do a one-time payment or whatever, as you can do with either PayPal or any of the links in the description. You can feel free to do that if you want to. We don't ask for it. If you want to do it, again, entirely up to you. It is gratefully received, and yeah, we do appreciate everything that you guys do for us. So on that note, we will bid you farewell. Stay well, stay healthy, most of all, stay indoors, unless you're a key worker. And for the key workers out there, thank you for everything that you're doing and keeping us all safe so that we don't have to go out and do all the stuff that you guys do. We do appreciate you. Yeah, that wraps things up. Have a great evening, what's left of it. Although saying that, in the UK, there's only a quarter of an hour left of this evening until it's Sunday morning, and then the clocks go back. So yeah, whatever. Anyway, that'll do. Yeah, we'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching, everybody.